It's Thursday, July 30th. Today, averaging 3 stabbings per day. A number of serious incidents in Winnipeg leave some on edge. But what's behind the sudden surge in violence? Also today, the power was off. Now the class action is on. Pimachikamak Cree Nation is taking to court as it continues to deal with the fallout from last winter's extended hydro outage. Plus, a bewitching event. A witch's hut is welcoming visitors in for a fairy tale experience in Kildonan Park. Your Morning Winnipeg starts right now. Good morning, I'm Daniel Homerson, joined by Catherine Dow, of course. Thanks for spending your Thursday morning with us. It's middle of summer, and Ainsley McPhail is checking out our Glorious Gardens contest winner today.
I've been excited for this.
And fittingly, the house, it's right near Garden City, so a match made in heaven. Coming up a little later in the show as well, we're going to chat with CAA Manitoba. Of course, the long weekend's coming out, and they just released some pretty staggering survey results, so we're going to break that all down. But before that, we got to talk about that storm last night. It was, I was fast asleep and boom, woke up. We got cats running around. It was quite the sight.
If my bags under my eyes are worse than normal, it's because, yes, my dog also didn't respond well to the storm, and I was awake, cradling him like a baby as he shook like a leaf. Oh, yes, we all saw it. Well, many of us through Winnipeg, I'm sure, didn't sleep through it. But yes, it was quite the spectacle last night. Currently, though, it looks like there's some calm out there. A rest, if you will. 23 degrees, though that humidex still making it feel like 28. The good news is a bit of a cool down is on the way today, but it is temporary. Pretty cloudy to kick us off. Winds out of the west. Pressure is rising. Humidity sitting at 73%. So yes, we're still seeing that system really hovering over southern parts of the province. You can see with it those scattered thunderstorms. So that means we're likely not done with the convection. Well, maybe 30% chance by Environment and Climate Change Canada standards that we'll be seeing a little bit more of that activity into the morning hours, and then likely tapering off into the afternoon. As we push in, we see that it's mostly concentrated over the international border, but a good amount of activity also around Winnipeg and the Red River Valley. So again, this might not totally be in our rearview mirror. It's not picking up as substantially on our futurecast, but you can see a separate system that's impacting very northerly parts of the province. As the day progresses, a good chance of rain and thunderstorms there, while we start to taper off pretty nicely into the late morning. And then into tomorrow, we start to see temperatures continue to slip a little bit, not substantially, but we won't be dealing with the same extreme heat that we saw yesterday, because that was not fun. Starting off pretty clear in the south into Friday, mix of clouds there into the northern parts of our province, and then potentially a little bit more rainfall there in the northeast corner. For us here, I mentioned a cool down, if you can call this a cool down, 30 degrees, and then tomorrow we slip even further at 28, and that's when the sunshine reemerges.
A string of violent incidents has left some Winnipeggers on edge. 3 people have been attacked in the last 5 days, 2 in a span of just 24 hours. The most severe happened in front of Portage Place Mall Tuesday afternoon, sending a woman to hospital with serious injuries. On Friday, a man in a wheelchair was stabbed in a random attack, and a Good Samaritan in South Osborne is also recovering from stab wounds after another attack Tuesday night. Here's CTV's Jeff Keel.
A woman was seriously injured in the entrance area of Portage Place Mall and taken to hospital. Police say the incident happened in the middle of the afternoon Tuesday.
All I seen was a bunch of cops just pull up all of a sudden.
Winnipeg police say an arrest was made. This is not the only violent act in recent days.
I see a lot of troublemakers. I see a lot of bad stuff going on.
Tuesday night, police say a 51-year-old man was stabbed in the upper body here at Osborne and Jubilee. He was offering help to a woman he believed was overdosing when a 31-year-old man who knew the woman stabbed the Good Samaritan. Police say officers seized 2 knives when they arrested the suspect. And a man in his 20s in a wheelchair was the victim of a random stabbing Friday afternoon in a courtyard on Selkirk Avenue near Andrews Street.
It's getting way worse. More beatings, more thefts, more stabbings.
Police say there have been 81 stabbing-related incidents in the past 30 days.
Do have people out there that are in crisis, are unsafe, are feeling that they need to arm themselves.
Mitch Bourbonniere from the Downtown Community Safety Partnership says a lot of this is also fueled by drugs.
At the micro level, the small-time street-level drug dealing that's going on is seeing definite rise in violence and with edged weapons.
Late last month, police did a 10-day crackdown on open drug use and trafficking. This week, the chief said there will be some form of follow-up operation.
There's a place for enforcement and there's a place for harm reduction, and it's how do we do that together?
Jeff Keel, CTV News, Winnipeg.
On the stabbing at Osborne and Jubilee, police say the victim, who was trying to offer help, was taken to hospital in unstable condition. The woman he attempted to help was also taken to hospital. Data from Winnipeg Police shows that from January to the end of May, knife-related violent crimes were at 464. It's a similar trend to last year, where 1,200 incidents were recorded and down from a record high of 1,600 plus in 2023. Animal advocates are demanding action after a volunteer was mauled to death earlier this month. A No More Mauling rally took place last evening, at which participants called for the province to step up. Those calls include accessible animal programs on First Nations, low-cost spay and neuter programs, and support for rescue organizations. Advocates want a $2.5 million commitment from the provincial government. Amanda Nobis was killed earlier this month while picking up puppies on Sandy Bay First Nation. Janelle Andre Seeley from Canine Advocacy says people living in communities with wild dogs face this risk every day.
We lost our best friend and teammate and friend and sister and all that, and we're sick of seeing the heartbreak. And you know, she was a volunteer going into a community, but there's people who live there every single day who don't have the choice to leave or avoid it.
Wednesday's rally is not the first time animal welfare organizations have pressed the province for help. In 2024, 45 Manitoba organizations signed an open letter declaring a state of emergency over animal overpopulation, warning it was increasing the risk of dog bites and the spread of diseases such as rabies. Authorities in BC are urging people to listen to wildfire evacuation orders after one man who had refused to leave his home later needed to be rescued.
Later, they were called and asked to go back because this person's property was surrounded by fire and they were not able to get out. Fortunately, our crews were able to respond, get that person to safety. All our crews are safe, and so is that person as well.
Officials say the man who was rescued was initially told the flames were close and it was getting too dangerous to stay on his property. But according to BC Wildfire Service staff, the man used explicit language towards the firefighters and refused to leave. More videos showing the destruction in the village of Clinton are emerging, and officials say the danger is not over yet. As trade tension remains high between Canada and the U.S., Prime Minister Mark Carney has been asked about using our energy as a bargaining chip.
When you're supplier of a key commodity, key service, you got to think really hard about not supplying. I don't see the value of doing. I mean, I can understand conceptually, but I don't see the value of it.
Prime Minister Carney was asked twice about the possibility of holding back energy exports to the U.S., including oil, but the Prime Minister emphasized that the main focus right now is on securing a deal with the U.S. The Canada-United States-Mexico Agreement, or CUSMA, is under an annual review process, and while the U.S. and Mexico have held several official negotiating meetings, Canada and the United States have yet to launch any formal talks. The federal minister responsible for Canada-U.S. trade met with U.S. Trade Representative Jameson Greer in Washington yesterday. WestJet flight attendants could walk off the job as early as Sunday, leaving many passengers in limbo.
The goal is to try and get as many of both our cabin crew members, but also as many of our guests back as possible prior to a strike deadline.
The union representing 4,400 flight attendants has issued a 72-hour strike notice, and CUPE says the airline also issued a 72-hour lockout notice. The two sides have agreed to a wind-down plan if a deal can't be reached before Sunday. It outlines how planes would be grounded and how cabin crew would be returned home. If a strike does happen, about 75,000 passengers per day could be impacted. In a statement to CTV News, WestJet says we're optimistic we can arrive at an agreement. Flight attendants attendants voted 99% in favor of a strike mandate earlier this month, with the two sides at odds over wages, unpaid work, and working conditions. A new development in Transcona is one step closer to welcoming its first residents.
Across Canada, we have 10,000 homeless veterans living on the streets of Canada.
This is why the Homes for Heroes Foundation is building Winnipeg's Kinsman Veterans Village. A sod turning marked the next step for the development located on Transcona Boulevard between Bienvenue Street and Plessis Road. It will include 25 tiny homes, a resource center, a counselor's office, community gardens, and recreation spaces. The village will also provide wraparound social supports.
It's a supportive program where we have on-site caseworkers helping assist our veterans with mental health issues, addiction issues, job placement, everything they need to reintegrate back into society.
This is one of 5 such villages planned across Canada by the Homes for Heroes Foundation. Construction is expected to start in 2 to 3 weeks. Well, these twin tiger cubs are seeing the world for the very first time. This is the moment the Serbian tiger cubs opened their eyes for the first time at the Longleat Safari in the UK. The first thing they saw, each other and mom. This litter was the third to be born at the Longleat Zoo. Take a look at the traffic out on Norwood Bridge there. Pretty calm so far. Any traffic tips, pass them along at 10400. And Catherine Dow is up on the roof, maybe a little humid. We saw some rain overnight. What's the next few hours looking like?
Well, it could be a bit dicey, Daniel, because yes, while we had that storm yesterday, it could not be in our rearview mirror totally. Wow, coffee's not kicked in yet. So yes, it's cloudy, very muggy, sticky over here in downtown Winnipeg. And yes, we do have that low chance of rain and thunderstorms throughout basically all of southern Manitoba throughout much of the morning. Then a mix of sun and cloud. Temperatures dropping off from yesterday, that's the good news, but still well above seasonal. For Winnipeg, that's 29 degrees. Meanwhile, we'll start to see skies clear out overnight and into tomorrow, hot and sunny. A temperature, though, that's still kind of shy of what we've been seeing with this extreme heat. That's the good news. We're looking at highs in the upper 20s. But then we climb again into the weekend with plenty more sunshine. Different story to the north. You too have a chance of rain and thunderstorms today and lasting overnight. Still only a 30% chance. Temperatures there are still very hot, peaking in the upper 20s to low 30s. For us here in the south, again, while we do get a bit of a cool down into the next couple of days, Mother Nature's just kind of biding her time. The August long weekend for southern Manitoba looking very hot, by cracking the 30-degree mark by Sunday, and sunshine looks to be in the cards as well. I'm going to take a break, but stay with us. We've got so much more Your Morning Winnipeg still to come.
Weather is brought to you by the Better Business Bureau. Research at bbb.org before you buy.
Details are emerging about the ongoing humanitarian crisis in Pimicikamak Cree Nation. On Wednesday, the remote community's leadership announced it's filed a proposed class action lawsuit, saying a power outage lasting 4.5 days last December caused widespread damage and displaced thousands of people. CTV's Joseph Bernacki explains.
We, the people, are suffering the consequences of that negligence.
Wednesday was a somber day for Chief David Monius and the members of Pimicikamak Cree Nation. The community filed a class action lawsuit Tuesday against Manitoba Hydro, the province, and the federal government.
This lawsuit seeks accountability for the harm already caused and reliable infrastructure that will protect the community in the future.
More than 4,000 members were evacuated after a hydro outage shut down the community from December 28th to January 2nd. And the fallout from those 110 powerless hours resulted in burst pipes, sewer damage, and infrastructure failure. Now, nearly 8 months later, there are still about 650 people out of their homes, according to the lawsuit, and 180 homes are uninhabitable. Councillor Shirley Robinson said the lawsuit could have been avoided.
We warned Hydro and Manitoba that the line was unreliable and that our community needed generators, better maintenance, and a second source of power.
She says Hydro is at fault for not maintaining the one power line to the nation.
In 2018 alone, Hydro acknowledged 9 outages by July, indicating 5 outages in that month.
In a statement to CTV News, a Hydro spokesperson says the Crown Corporation intends to defend itself vigorously against this claim and will file a response in due course. Meantime, Cross Lake Days won't be the same without everyone. The celebration is on all this week.
Those people that are in the community said, I miss my grandfather and my grandmother. I miss my grandchildren. You know, I would like to see our family being home.
Joseph Bernacki, CTV News, Winnipeg.
Trippier Law, the firm representing Pimachikamak, expects damages will be in the multi-million-dollar range. A spokesperson for the federal government says it's reviewing the statement of claim before determining its next steps, and the province says it would not be appropriate to comment because the matter is before the court. It's important to note that the class action has not yet been certified. It's the day folks in one Western Manitoba community have been waiting for. The province is putting up nearly $100,000 to restore the train station in Rivers. The station opened way back in 1917 and ended up being a massive boon for the community. It allowed for the creation of the Sakine bicycle factory in the early 1970s. Officials say the funding will not only see the train station restored and new amenities for passengers, but will also create a Sakine Bicycle Museum, a home for the Rivers and Area Community Foundation, and a new arts and culture space. It will also be part of a research project on the history of the Sakine bicycle story, a collaboration between researchers at the University of Winnipeg and their counterparts in Japan.
And so over 50 years ago, a partnership was made with Canada, Japan, the province of Manitoba, Riverdale Municipality, and so on, to bring the Sakine bicycle factory to Rivers. And so this was huge at that time and still is.
Researchers will also get a share of the money to study the redevelopment's progress and make recommendations for future projects in other parts of the province. It was a fairy tale day at Kildonan Park.
His son he called Hansel, and his daughter he called Gretel.
The German-Canadian Congress is hosting a series of free German fairy tale readings at the park's beloved Witch's Hut. Originally built in the 1950s and relocated to the park in the 70s, the building was inspired by fairy tales collected by the Brothers Grimm. The family-friendly event is intended to provide visitors a chance to enjoy classical stories in a whimsical setting.
I think it definitely brings it to life. I mean, as you can see, the Witch's Hut is just a gorgeous architecture in general, and then we've got the beautiful garden, and being in the middle of a park here does feel like you're in a forest. We've got the beautiful, sun hitting the plants, and it feels magical. It brings the fairy tale to life.
The series is back on Wednesday, August 12th from 10 a.m. to noon, and it finishes off on August 26th at that same time. Now, if you'd like to learn more about the enchanting history of the Witch's Hut, we have a story up on our website by CTV's own Catherine Dow. You can also check out a photo gallery from Wednesday's event. Just head to ctvnewswinnipeg.ca. Hawaii's Kilauea volcano is stirring once again. It's spewing lava from a dome fountain, creating a really stunning pool of lava. There's currently an orange watch at the famous volcano, meaning it's exhibiting heightened or escalating unrest. Kilauea is one of the most active volcanoes in the world. Some road closures to remind you about this morning. Following the rush on Osborne Street, the northbound curb lane will be closed between Granite and Broadway. The eastbound curb lane on Concordia Avenue will be closed from Gateway Road to Molson Street, and the northbound curb lane on Century Street will be closed between St. Matthews and Silver Avenue. If you have any traffic tips or updates to share, text them to us at 10400.
Traffic is brought to you by Curtis Carpets, Manitoba's flooring experts.
Taking a look through the Live Eye, which is brought to you by Bath Fitter, your bath and shower experts for more than 40 years. Once again, a bit of a hazy, slightly cloudy start to our day today, and a muggy one at that. No surprise, yesterday was very uncomfortable. Today we do get a bit of a reprieve, but we're certainly still starting off on a rather humid note. To the tune of 21 degrees in Winnipeg. Had to find us there for a second. Same for Portage, 23 in Morden and Winkler, over in Dauphin, 16 degrees this hour. Up to the north, temperature temperatures on par, and in some areas even warmer. 18 degrees in Flin Flon, Churchill at 13, over in Island Lake 21 degrees this hour. But of course we know that humidex has been a big factor. It's already feeling closer to 30 degrees in Gimli. The humidex not quite as intense to the north. That's the good news. But for us, yes, it's feeling quite balmy out there. Meanwhile, that line of scattered showers, thunderstorm activities that we saw yesterday here in much of southern Manitoba, including us here in Winnipeg, you can see that lineup still really making its way through very southerly parts of the province. So we still have a low chance of rainfall and thunderstorm throughout the morning, because you can see really tracking through at a decent clip, but there's always that outside chance that we could get a little bit more rainfall and a little bit more thunderstorm activity. Still going to be pretty hot today, 22 degrees in those early morning hours, 29, which is also our high, and then we lose a little bit of heat by early evening. And yes, that low chance of rainfall and thunderstorm clears into the afternoon, and then a mix of sun and cloud. Overnight 15 degrees, skies staying partly cloudy, and tomorrow a little bit cooler at 28, if you can call 28 cooler, but things heat up into the weekend. Speaking of the storm, Mackenzie caught this near the airport of that lightning crackling in the sky. Thanks for sending that in, Mackenzie, and keep your weather pictures coming to Winnipeg Weather at ctv.ca.
A Manitoba man is on a mission to recover pieces of the province's Icelandic history at risk of being forgotten. CTV's Danton Unger explains.
Their faces preserved for more than a century, their names lost to time.
I don't think anybody should be forgotten. Ever.
Blair Swanson with the Icelandic Roots organization leads the Unknown Photos Project. His goal to identify and name the Icelandic immigrants in these photos, some of which date back to the mid-1800s.
Right now, these people on this board here, they're really nobody. So my hope is to turn them into somebody.
Hundreds of photos like these have been sent to Icelandic Roots from families around Manitoba and the U.S. It's then up to Swanson to find out who these people were.
Once you have their name, you expand and try to tell a story about that person.
A lot of Swanson's work actually happens on Facebook, where he posts these unknown photos, hoping someone might recognize them.
Everybody likes looking at old photographs, and some people take it as a challenge to try to determine who those people are.
Using tips from fellow internet sleuths and history buffs, Swanson works to confirm the identity using obituaries and census records, and then share what he's found with their families.
Keep going and you keep going, and it's when you get a result, then yeah, it's pretty satisfying.
Swanson says about 60 people in these photos have been identified so far, but there's still hundreds more waiting for their names to be returned.
Just give them a life. Like, who are they?
Swanson will be here in Gimli with his photographs on Monday during the Icelandic Festival of Manitoba in hopes of generating more tips as his search continues. Danton Unger, CTV News, Gimli.
There is a new highest-paid player in the NHL. North Vancouver native and San Jose Sharks star Macklin Celebrini will be pocketing the biggest paycheck per season in hockey history. Not bad for a guy who just turned 20. CTV's Andrew Johnson on why the Sharks are going all in.
Macklin Celebrini will make close to $19 million U.S. per season, and he's not the first superstar to hit pay dirt after honing his skills just across the water in North Vancouver. Celebrini has signed a 5-year deal with the San Jose Sharks worth $94 million. That's not the biggest total contract in NHL history, but the highest average value per season at $18.8 million as contracts continue to rise along with the league's salary cap. It comes after Celebrini's breakout sophomore season when he finished 4th in NHL scoring. He was also the leading goal scorer at the Olympics, where Canada won silver. Celebrini grew up in North Vancouver, playing out of the North Shore Winter Club, which also produced another top young talent in Connor Bedard. The two were first overall picks in the NHL draft in back-to-back years. Bedard just signed an extension with the Chicago Blackhawks, paying him $15 million per season. For Celebrini, the future is bright. His 115 points this season with the Sharks are the third most ever by a teenager in the NHL, behind only Sidney Crosby and Wayne Gretzky. That about says it all. Andrew Johnson, CTV News, Vancouver.
Taking a look at Keniston Sterling Lion way out there. Not much to show you, but stick around. We'll be right back with more CTV Your Morning Winnipeg.
storm. 27 degrees out there, hazy and cloudy. I should say 27 with the humidex. 21 is our temperature. It is decently windy out there out of the south at 10 kilometers per hour. Barometric pressure rising, humidity sitting at 86%. So maybe the calm before the storm as well, because as you can see, that same system that brought all that lightning, thunder, rain to our neck of the woods yesterday, still very much hovering over southern Manitoba. So we do still have a low chance of some rain and thunderstorms today as we pull in, but most notably in the morning hours, because you can see it's tracking out pretty darn quick. For us here, we're going to get a decent above seasonal high again, but nowhere near what we saw yesterday. I was very uncomfortable. I don't know about you. I was going to check actually in the break how hot exactly we got. Today, though, 29 degrees. Of course, that humidex will be warming us up even more from there. Winds will be ramping up out of the southwest at 20 kilometers per hour. And yes, that outside chance of rain and thunderstorms to kick us off. And then into the afternoon, more of a mix of sun and cloud. Overnight, skies start to clear out. Temperatures dip to 15 degrees. Winds staying pretty strong out of the northwest. Tomorrow, sunny and lovely. Partly cloudy skies, 28 degrees. Likely we're going to start off clear, I should say, and those clouds join us into the afternoon. And those northwesterly winds prevailing at 20 kilometers per hour. And then August long weekend is shaping up to be lovely, but of course with that outside caveat that there's always a chance when we're at these levels of humidity that we could get some rain or thunderstorm activity. 29 degrees on Saturday under the sunshine, heating up even further to 31 on Sunday. And by Monday, we have a dip, which I'm sure many folks are wanting, and maybe it'll help those having to go back to work ease the blow a little bit. So 24 on Monday, 25 on Tuesday, and you can see we're starting to creep back up with our heat.
Thousands of Manitoba Hydro customers are without power this morning after those thunderstorms rolled through southern Manitoba overnight. As of 6 o'clock this morning, Hydro's outage map shows approximately 300 outage zones within the city of Winnipeg alone, especially concentrated in southern and western parts of the city. If you encounter traffic signals not working and there's no police or cadets directing traffic, remember to treat the intersection like a four-way stop. West of Winnipeg, hundreds of customers have no electricity in the Treeherne, St. Claude area. No word yet on how long it will take to restore power. Manitoba's police watchdog is not recommending charges after 2 Winnipeg officers fired 16 shots at a stolen truck barreling towards them in the spring of 2025. The dramatic incident on Home Street was captured on video shared with CTV News. The independent investigation unit found police positioned their vehicles to a stolen truck with a suspected impaired driver behind the wheel couldn't escape. Instead, the pickup backed into another vehicle and drove towards officers, who then began shooting. The truck then crashed into a house, igniting a fireball. The IIU says the officers' actions were reasonable as they feared their lives were in danger. However, some witnesses criticized police at the time for opening fire as children played nearby.
It was like in quick succession, like boom, 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 boom.
One house was hit by gunfire during the incident, but no one was injured in the shooting. Weeks after heavy rain caused widespread flooding across Manitoba, many communities are still dealing with the aftermath. As CTV's Alex Carper reports, damage to infrastructure could take months to repair.
This is damage the hospital in Dauphin, Manitoba sustained from recent flooding. Officials have previously said it could take several months before the hospital could be fully repaired.
There's still all kinds of electrical, mechanical, and structural assessments going on while they clean the facility.
Bosiak says work is ongoing to ensure patients in Dauphin receive proper care, but says the closure is a major inconvenience.
We're also concerned about all of the other services that occur at the hospital, like phlebotomy, blood services, x-rays, diagnostics, that now aren't locally available.
In the Swan River Valley region just west of the city, more than 300 roads, bridges, and culverts were damaged. Reeve Bill Gade says repairs have already cost more than $40 million, with much more work ahead.
The budget for our municipality is a little over $4 million a year. So to put that in perspective, we're talking about 10 years of our entire budget in damage just in a couple days.
June's heavy rainfall caused widespread flooding across Manitoba. Part of farmer Alan Olynyk's soybean crops are now filled with algae due to standing water. He says poor drainage is to blame.
This is the storm of the century that hit us here, and yeah, with failing infrastructure, we knew we were going to get it bad here, and as you can see, this is the effects of it.
The Association of Manitoba Municipalities says a lot of communities communities across the province are dealing with the impacts of major flooding for the first time.
The damage is still there, it's still being assessed, but we're talking about hundreds of sites of municipal infrastructure damaged.
The Manitoba government recently expanded eligibility for its flood recovery assistance program to include more communities that were ravaged by heavy rainfalls in June. Alex Carper, CTV News, Winnipeg.
Authorities in BC are urging people to listen to wildfire evacuation orders after one man who had refused to leave his home later needed to be rescued.
Later, they were called and asked to go back because this person's property was surrounded by fire and they were not able to get out. Fortunately, our crews were able to respond, get that person to safety. All our crews are safe, and so is that person as well.
Officials say the man who was rescued was initially told the flames were close and it was getting too dangerous to stay on his property. But according to BC Wildfire Service staff, the man used explicit language towards the firefighters and refused to leave. More videos showing the destruction in the village of Clinton are emerging, and officials say the danger is not over yet. Ottawa is planning a big investment to replace Via Rail's aging fleet.
Building our country, supporting our workers, supporting passengers, creating good jobs.
The plan will see Ottawa spend $1.6 billion to replace 45 locomotives. Ottawa will also spend another $357 million to build an assembly plant and maintenance facility in Montreal. A Swiss company has been contracted to build the units. The first 9 will be built in Spain, the remaining 36 in Canada. The first locomotives are expected to be in service by 2031. It's summer camp season at the Verdun Career Centre in Quebec.
If you're like more of a hands-on person, it's a fun thing to do.
Campers are getting some hands-on experience with pipe fittings, soldering, welding, and plumbing. The camp is free, aimed at attracting young people who are curious about a career in the trades. Plans are also in the works for a 2-week camp next summer. And take a look at the current traffic situation on McPhillips. Moving pretty well there. One traffic alert to pass along, though. The westbound curb lane on Portage at Wall Street is blocked due to a collision. If you have any tips to pass along, text them to us at 10400. And let's take a look at your gas prices here in Winnipeg. The average is $1.72, an increase compared to yesterday, and the lowest price in the city, $1.55. All this information is on GasBuddy.com.
The Price at the Pump is brought to you by the Kidney Foundation. Help by donating your card today.
Ainsley McPhail is at our Glorious Gardens Contest's winner's house this morning. Details coming up at 6:42.
Weather is brought to you by Blinds Are Beautiful. Our new Hunter Douglas showroom is at 900 Lorimer.
I've got my favorite weather prop out to show you just how much rain fell yesterday in that storm. Just about 5 millimeters worth, or 1/4 of an inch. So not a ton, but it certainly made its presence known with all that booming thunder and that crackling lightning. Certainly gave my dog a start. However, we might not totally have that storm activity in our rearview mirror. Currently, though, we're at 21 degrees. With that humidex, though, feeling pretty balmy at 27. It's decently overcast, cloudy here or there. Winds out of the south at 10 kilometers per hour. Pressure is rising. Humidity sitting at 86%. So yes, that low pressure system that pushed in, bringing that rainfall and thunderstorm activity basically to all of southern Manitoba yesterday, really does linger through parts of the south. Dauphin, Swan River, you're likely to stay dry, but everything further to the south and further to the central parts in Red River Valley has a low chance, but a chance nonetheless, of rain and thunderstorms into the morning hours today. From there, more of a mix of sun and cloud. Highs dropping off a little bit from yesterday. That is welcome news because, yeah, yesterday was quite the scorcher. Today, though, 29 degrees, so nothing to scoff at either. Winds will be pretty strong out of the south at 20 kilometers per hour. To the north, particularly the northeast, you have a strong chance of rain and thunderstorms, not only today, but tomorrow or into this evening as well. Likely the rest of that region into the northwest. Lots of sunshine for you and hot highs. We're heading on over to Ainsley McPhail, who is learning about the Glorious Gardens contest winner.
$500 to St. Mary's Nursery and Garden Center. We do those segments with Carla, and people actually approach me and say, "Are you the gardening girl?" And I go, "What are you talking about? I've killed every plant I've ever seen in my life." But then I remember all of those glorious segments that we do. we're standing with, well, not the winner. She went inside to hide. I think she's a little camera shy, although she's not shy. You're going to meet her. Elizabeth. She's fantastic. She's retired within the last several years, and she's taken to gardening. This is just the front. Absolutely stunning. You'll be chatting with the winner of the East Kildonan Gardening Club's contest as well. But we received dozens of submissions from you Manitobans with beautiful gardens, and this is the winner. So congratulations to her. Hopefully you'll meet her soon. Back to you.
A look at the early markets. The Dow Jones gained 158 points. The Nasdaq is 302 points higher. The S&P index added 39 points. The loonie is set to 71.17 cents U.S. Overseas, the Hang Seng had small gains, and the Nikkei climbed 433 points. New details have been released about the work needed to restore a 140-year-old downtown Winnipeg church.
While it identified significant conservation needs, it also confirmed what we have long believed, that Holy Trinity is a place worth preserving, evolving, and investing in.
The feasibility study, which launched in 2025 for Holy Trinity Anglican Church, concludes the building is fundamentally sound, but still requires significant stabilization and foundation repairs. The total planning cost estimate is $7.75 million, with $4.25 million for the foundation alone. But before that work can begin, the renewal project managers want to know what community members and others envision for the church's future.
If I had to choose what the future of this site looks like, this building would remain. There's no question. How the interior of worship exists today, it may change. On the parking lot, we have a lot of surface parking lots. I could see easily a multi-story residence.
Options which could be considered also include selling the building and leasing it back to the parish. The building project manager hopes work to address the critical issues will begin by the end of 2029. Well, the search for 11-year-old Parker Wells in Calgary has ended in tragedy.
It is with profound sadness that I can confirm that we have found the body of a small child, which we believe to be Parker.
Parker's body was found in northeast Calgary. It's believed he went through a culvert into a maze of pipes and tunnels the day he went missing. Police say Parker's remains were found inside a small pipe. This caps a 13-day search that involved police as well as thousands of volunteers. Parker's disappearance has renewed calls to give police more flexibility in issuing an Amber Alert. The province plans to look into this issue this fall. There are also calls to establish an Indigo Alert for missing neurodivergent children. A U.S. Senate committee is set to vote next week on whether to hold Dr. Anthony Fauci, the scientist who led the country through the COVID-19 pandemic, in contempt for declining to answer its questions during a hearing on his handling of the pandemic.
Because you refused to answer, citing a privilege that is unsupported because of your pardon, and after being denied to do so, this committee has scheduled a vote next week on a resolution certifying your contempt.
Fauci repeatedly invoked the Fifth Amendment and refused to answer questions from senators on the Republican-led committee. Fauci previously received a pardon from former President Joe Biden in early 2025, but some Republicans, including Committee Chair Rand Paul, have suggested he could still face charges for any perjury committed during this hearing. Frightening dashcam footage out of Oregon shows a case of road rage right out of a horror movie. Driver was on the phone with 911 with his wife in the passenger seat as he tried to get away from the suspect, who is seen clearly driving erratically.
Don't worry, Sion. I got this. Oh my God, this guy's crazy. And he's driving in reverse right now, trying to follow me in reverse. This guy's on drugs. For sure. Look what the f is he doing?
Eventually, police arrived and arrested the suspect, who is now facing charges of reckless driving and menacing. It's unclear how this incident started. In a first in Quebec, health officials say a case of raccoon rabies has been found in a stray cat. This was in the town of Godmanchester in the Eastern Townships. People in the area are now being encouraged to report any raccoons or skunks that appear dead, injured, or showing unusual behavior. Owners are also being urged to vaccinate their pets for rabies. Quebec has recorded 118 cases of raccoon rabies so far this year. That's more than all of last year. And the owners of a bell foundry in Austria are embracing new technology to restore old bells. They've been casting bells for churches and cathedrals for more than 400 years and are one of the few remaining bell foundries anywhere in Europe. These days, they're assisted by 3D printing, scanning, lasers, and computer simulation apps. But of course, they still pour molten metal. Since demand for new, enormous bells isn't huge this day, they spend a lot of time repairing old ones. Some road closures to remind you about this morning following the rush. On Osborne Street, the northbound curb lane will be closed between Granite and Broadway. The eastbound curb lane on Concordia will be closed from Gateway Road to Molson Street, and the northbound curb lane on Century Street will be closed between St. Matthews and Silver Avenue.
Casting our eye to the semi-hazy sky, 21 degrees out there. That humidex, though, making it feel hotter than that, 27 more like it. Decently cloudy, as mentioned. Winds out of the south at 10 kilometers per hour. Pressures on the rise. Humidity this hour at 86%. So, yes, while we had that very thunderous storm activity yesterday, really making itself known in much of the Red River Valley, you can see we haven't quite cleared it yet. It's really hovering over those very southerly points of our province. So we in Winnipeg, the Red River Valley, even as far west as Brandon and Nipawin, you have a low chance of rain and thunderstorms this afternoon, because as you push in, you see that there still is those scattered thunderstorms being reported almost over the border. However, it's clipping away pretty fast, so that means we still could have a little bit of sunshine today. Not as is the case also in the northeast. However, you have a stronger chance of rain and thunderstorms likely into the afternoon based on a separate system. Temperatures there starting to moderate a little bit. Still pretty balmy in Island Lake with those clear sunny skies. The rest of the region, though, that convection expected. Temperatures there in the low 20s, or in Churchill's case, the mid-teens. The northwest, likely you've cleared any sort of rain or thunderstorms. There's a low chance of it, very low, about 30%. More likely a mix of sun and cloud. And again, more moderate highs in the mid to upper 20s. Lynn Lake, though, does have that low chance of rain and thunderstorms. For the southwest, Dauphin and Swan River, likely a mix of sun and cloud. Brandon and Nipawin, that low chance of rain and thunderstorms. Temperatures throughout peaking at 28 degrees. For us here as well, that convective activity, which is a fancy word for thunderstorms, could be coming in the morning, and then from there a mix of sun and cloud. Winds decently strong out of the southwest at 20 kilometers per hour. Northwestern Ontario, very strong chance that it could be a bit of a stormy one for you. Rain and thunderstorms expected through the day alongside a small pocket of sunshine. Overnight skies clearing to 15. Tomorrow clear and sunny as temperatures start to peak up again.
Weather is brought to you by Blinds Are Beautiful. Our new Hunter Douglas showroom is at 900 Lorimer.
All right, let's check in now on the team at 103.1 Virgin Radio. Ace and LTI, good morning. You're still on the Fresca, aren't
Stupid
you?
contest alert.
Great
Stupid
morning.
Contest alert.
You don't
We've
say.
decided to really lean into our love of Fresca. Now, if this idea fails, that's hilarious. If it's a huge success, fine. It's all bonus. He's pretending to drink that. By the way, it's empty.
What? You blew my cover.
You guys ran out of Fresca already? Well, we have a full case over here.
Oh, nice. Well, we're coming there.
Yeah.
Okay, so the contest is, it's photos with Fresca long weekend.
Okay.
At Virgin Radio Winnipeg. Those are all our social media handles.
Okay.
DM us or message us photos of you with a Fresca. And then next week, someone will receive a prize. That prize for the first annual Photos with Fresca weekend, the prize will be, LTI?
You get a Fresca for the rest of summer. So a Fresca a day right up until the first day of fall.
Wow.
Which would be 55 Frescas. That's right. Look, just a couple dudes complaining about taxes on an F-150. No big deal.
I was asking them what shingles I should go with for my roof.
Have you guys thought
Why are you wearing matching shirts?
Have you guys thought of a name for this movement yet? Oh, look at that. We were also enjoying our frescas a little earlier this morning.
Look at you guys.
That is the best photo.
Look how happy you guys are with those
are
frescas.
happy, beautiful people.
We're all converted frescatarians. I learned even Marilee Caruso.
Frescatarians, yes.
Marilee cracks a fresco once a day here at CTV as well, ahead of the 5 and 6 o'clock news. She's on board.
Come on.
We love Marilee Caruso so much, and even more now, if that's even possible. This is awesome.
Happy long weekend, boys.
What a movement.
A neighborhood library in Victoria stands out, but not because of what's on the shelves. CTV's Adam Swatsky has more on the story behind it.
Across the street from this cruise ship terminal, you'll find Jeff Apollinario working at the end of his driveway.
I've always wanted to make a library with a cruise ship theme, if you want to call it that.
But this little library is turning out to be a very big replica of the iconic Queen Mary.
Well, it's 8 foot long, so I got 8 foot more space in the garage now that it's out there.
Jeff started building it in here after finding a perfect piece of furniture discarded on a curb.
There was this 2-door gun cabinet sitting there.
Well, after studying books showing the blueprints from when the Queen Mary was built in the 1930s, Jeff focused on custom making every detail in miniature, with help from his wife Marge.
She was great with the sanding, with the varnishing. I put her to work on a lot of projects.
That's after she put him to work a lot throughout their careers.
She's tough as nails.
When we first met the couple a few years ago, Jeff and Marge told us they met at a military hospital in Saudi Arabia during the First Gulf War.
Well, just like she is now, she's a looker.
Marge was his respected boss, while Jeff was the guy that got things done.
Then I got to know him, and I thought it was even nicer.
3 decades after falling in love, Marge and Jeff survived countless conflicts overseas before facing unexpected adversity at home.
You play the cards you dealt, right, babe? And we're making the best of things.
So after Marge was diagnosed with Alzheimer's, Jeff customized a trike so they could go on daily dates around the neighborhood. So although her memory was fading, their love was enduring.
I do love him. Yeah, I do.
Marge never got to see their library set sail at the end of their driveway. More than a year ago, she passed away.
We had a good run. We saw a lot of places, had a lot of fun times.
Which is why Jeff is so pleased to see the fun times people are having with the model.
This is brilliant. Yeah, it's really good.
Exchanging books and engaging in conversations.
And the fact that people light up when they see it, it makes it all worthwhile.
And while some ships are christened after Elizabeth's or Mary's, Jeff says this library won't be complete until he adds a plaque saying, "In memory of Marge." Adam Sawatsky, CTV News.
Taking a look out at Portage Avenue, the sun rising there. We'll be right back with more CTV, Your Morning Winnipeg. It's Thursday, July 30th. Today, city safety, how a string of recent stabbings is raising new safety concerns across Winnipeg. Plus, strike warning. WestJet passengers could face widespread travel disruption if flight attendants walk off the job Sunday. And the Witch's Hut. Grim tales, a magical setting, and a little storybook sprinkle return to Kildonan Park. Your Morning Winnipeg starts right now. Good morning, happy Thursday. I'm Daniel Homerson, joined by Catherine Dow. Ainsley McPhail is, remember that Glorious Gardens contest we were running?
I've been so excited for this.
She is hanging out with the winner today, fittingly near Garden City. So we're going to check in with her a couple times this hour. Coming up at 7:52, Cycle of Hope. It's Habitat for Humanity, one of their biggest fundraisers. A team of 30 cyclists are going to be riding across southern Manitoba later, or early in August, so we're going to hear all about that. But some big storms overnight, Catherine.
Oh my
big
goodness.
booms.
Yes, it definitely made its arrival known. Lots of thunder, lightning, rain. And yes, we might not have totally put it in our rear view mirror just yet. You can see it's looking a little ominous out there, maybe biding its time. 21 degrees degrees out there, although that humidex has it feeling closer to 27. The winds are out of the south at 10 clicks. Pressure's on the rise. Humidity sitting at 86%. So yes, as you can see, if I move out of the way, those systems, those kind of line of thunderstorms, still very much hovering over southern Manitoba. And as we push in, really in and around Winnipeg, so we have a low chance of rain and thunderstorm this afternoon, or this morning, excuse me, because as you can see, it's clipping out pretty quickly, which means we could have some calm weather on the way into the afternoon. Meanwhile, this separate system on those very northerly parts of our province, bringing a good chance, a 60% shot by Environment and Climate Change Canada's forecast of rain and thunderstorms to the northeast. So in and around Thompson, Churchill Island Lake could be a bit of a soggy one for you. The northwest likely to stay decently dry, and then maybe a mix of sun and cloud. We clear out pretty nicely closer to noon, so more of a mix of sun and cloud on the way for us. Overnight, likely just a couple clouds here or there, but for the most part clearing. Much of the province kicking off on a sunny note into Friday, but you do see that little spark up there, bringing a small chance of rain and thunderstorms once again to the northeast, while the rest of the province likely staying pretty clear. In terms of our temperatures, we're taking a bit of a breather from the extreme heat, but still nothing to scoff at. It's 29, considering 26 is what's seasonal. It's still going to be mighty hot out there. Partly cloudy skies overnight, as mentioned. 15 degrees is our overnight low, and then into tomorrow, even a little bit cooler at 28. But as you can see, we're just priming for a warm up into the August long weekend. 7-year-old Raven drew this beautiful picture. She drew her inspiration from Winnipeg and the beautiful sky here. Thanks so much to that talented 7-year-old. And if you want to submit your child's weather art of the day, be sure to visit our website, ctvnewswinnipeg.ca, and fill out the form. Your art can be shown on Your Morning Winnipeg, and it's also going to enter you into our monthly contest for a chance to win a $100 gift card from Crockadoodle on Kenaston and Regent.
The Weather Art of the Day is brought to you by Crockadoodle Paint Your Own Pottery, now open on Regent and Kenaston.
A string of violent incidents has left some Winnipeggers on edge. 3 people have been attacked in the last 5 days, 2 in a span of just 24 hours. The most severe happened in front of Portage Place Mall Tuesday afternoon, sending a woman to hospital with serious injuries. On Friday, a man in a wheelchair was stabbed in a random attack, and a Good Samaritan in South Osborne is also recovering from stab wounds after another attack Tuesday night. Here's CTV's Jeff Keel.
A woman was seriously injured in the entrance area of Portage Place Mall and taken to hospital. Police say the incident happened in the middle of the afternoon Tuesday.
All I seen was a bunch of cops just pull up all of a sudden.
Winnipeg police say an arrest was made. This is not the only violent act in recent days.
I see a lot of troublemakers. I see a lot of bad stuff going on.
Tuesday night, police say a 51-year-old man was stabbed in the upper body here at Osborne and Jubilee. He was offering help to a woman he believed was overdosing when a 31-year-old man who knew the woman stabbed the Good Samaritan. Police say officers seized 2 knives when they arrested the suspect. And a man in his 20s in a wheelchair was the victim of a random stabbing Friday afternoon in a courtyard on Selkirk Avenue near Andrews Street.
It's getting way worse. More beatings, more thefts, more stabbings.
Police say there have been 81 stabbing-related incidents in the past 30 days.
We do have people out there that are in crisis, are unsafe, are feeling that they need to arm themselves.
Mitch Bourbonniere from the Downtown Community Safety Partnership says a lot of this is also fueled by drugs.
At the micro level, the small-time, street-level drug dealing that's going on is seeing definite rise in violence and with edged weapons.
Late last month, police did a 10-day crackdown on open drug use and trafficking. This week, the chief said there will be some form of follow-up operation.
There's a place for enforcement and there's a place for harm reduction, and it's how do we do that together?
Jeff Keel, CTV News, Winnipeg.
On the stabbing at Osborne and Jubilee, police say the victim, who was trying to offer help, was taken to hospital in unstable condition. The woman he attempted to help was also taken to hospital. Data from Winnipeg police shows that from January to the end of May, knife-related violent crimes were at 464. It's a similar trend to last year, where 1,200 incidents were recorded, and down from a recent high of 1,600 plus in 2023. Animal advocates are demanding action after a volunteer was mauled to death earlier this month.
Okay.
A No More Mauling rally took place last night, at which participants called for the province to step up. Those calls include accessible animal programs on First Nations, low-cost spay and neuter programs, and support for rescue organizations. Advocates want a $2.5 million commitment from the provincial government. Amanda Nobis was killed earlier this month while picking up puppies on Sandy Bay First Nation. Janelle Andre Seeley from Canine Advocacy says people living in communities with wild dogs face this risk every day.
We lost our best friend and teammate and friend and sister and all that, and we're sick of seeing the heartbreak. And you know, she was a volunteer going into a community, but there's people who live there every single day who don't have the choice to leave or avoid it.
Wednesday's rally is not the first time animal welfare organizations have pressed the province for help. In 2024, 45 Manitoba organizations signed an open letter declaring a state of emergency over animal population, warning it was increasing the risk of dog bites and the spread of diseases such as rabies. WestJet flight attendants could walk off the job as early as Sunday, leaving many passengers in limbo.
To try and get as many of both our cabin crew members, but also as many of our guests back as possible prior to a strike deadline.
The union representing 4,400 flight attendants has issued a 72-hour strike notice, and CUPE says the airline also issued a 72-hour lockout notice. The two sides have agreed to a wind-down plan if a deal can't be reached before Sunday. It outlines how planes would be grounded and how cabin crew would be returned home. If a strike does happen, about 75,000 passengers per day could be impacted. In a statement to CTV News, WestJet says we're optimistic we can reach an agreement, or we can arrive at an agreement. Flight attendants voted 99% in favor of a strike mandate earlier this month, with the two sides at odds over wages, unpaid work, and working conditions. South of the border, new research shows 4 out of 5 food items sold for U.S. toddlers are ultra-processed. It also says almost half fail to reach any World Health Organization nutritional benchmarks. The WHO has a nutrient and promotion profile model for children between 6 and 36 months of age. It says foods marketed to that age group should have no added sugar, artificial sweeteners, or concentrated fruit juices. It also recommends limiting saturated fats and sodium. The study includes analysis of more than 2,700 grocery store items. Well, the countdown is officially on to the 55th annual Folklorama Festival.
That I will be faithful.
On Wednesday, new citizens were welcomed in a special ceremony highlighting what visitors can expect at Folklorama this year. The event prides itself in bringing together the diverse ethno-cultural communities which make up Winnipeg.
We're gearing up for festival to start next week, celebrating 45 pavilions this year, all the different cultures we have right here at home, and now we're welcoming even more to join in the festivities.
Half of the 45 pavilions kick off Sunday afternoon. There are 2 new pavilions to take in, the Heart of Romania and the Salvadoran Pavilion. 2026 also marks the return of the Mexican, Chilean, and First Nations pavilions. Folklorama is also launching a pavilion-wide composting program. Last year, 9 pavilions took part in the pilot project, which saw nearly 3,000 kilograms of waste diverted from the landfill. You can stamp your passport from August 2nd to the 15th. Taking a look at the traffic there on Confusion Corner, slowly starting to pick up. Past those traffic tips to us at 10,400.
Prime Minister Mark Carney signaled on Wednesday he doesn't want to use Canadian energy as a bargaining chip in the trade war with the United States, though he wouldn't explicitly rule it out. I don't see the value of doing it, Carney told reporters in Red Deer, Alberta, following an announcement with Alberta Premier Danielle Smith. Microsoft's cloud unit grew at the fastest clip in 4 years, and the pace is accelerating, suggesting the company's AI and computing services are making inroads with customers. Chief Financial Officer Amy Hood said she expects growth in the cloud unit to accelerate further in the current quarter to about 45%. Demand continues to exceed available supply, she said during a conference call with analysts. Meta Platforms, meanwhile, slid in the pre-market in trading on Thursday after the Facebook parent gave a revenue outlook that is seen as disappointing. It also raised the low end of its full-year forecast for both capital expenditures and total expenses, adding to concerns about when spending on AI will translate into better growth. Those are your morning business headlines. For BNN Bloomberg, I'm Roger Peterson.
Let's head up to the rooftop where we find Catherine Dow. I was woken up, I don't even know what time it was, maybe midnight? I'm not sure, but a huge boom. I thought the cats basically broke our entire place. Any more storms in the forecast?
You know, we do have an outside chance of that same system kind of rearing its ugly head. That's an awful term to use, but rearing its head again, if you will, later on today. 22 degrees currently, though, so very calm out here. Doesn't show many signs of it. With the humidex, feels closer to 28. It's overcast, still slightly hazy. Winds are light, pressure's rising, humidity sitting at 83%. So yes, we do have an outside chance of some more rain and thunderstorm activity through much of southern Manitoba. Not as far north as into the parkland, so Dauphin, Swan River, you're likely a mix of sun and cloud. But yes, all of the south with that line of scattered showers and thunderstorms still very much hovering over the southern border. We have a low chance of that activity emerging again in the morning hours, and then a mix of sun and cloud. Temperatures cooler than what we saw yesterday, though still hot. 29 degrees by Winnipeg's forecast. Very similar highs expected throughout southern Manitoba. Meanwhile, it has moderated a little bit with your heat in the north. That's the great news. However, in the northeast, some rain and thunderstorm could be heading your way. A strong chance at 60% by Environment and Climate Change Canada's estimations. To the northwest, a small chance of rain, thunderstorms, likely a mix of sun and cloud. Temperatures peaking there in the mid-20s.
Weather is brought to you by ABC Fire and Safety, your CO2 refill store.
All right, time now for our question of the day. Today is National Intern Day, so we're asking, what was your first job? You can text your answers to us at 10400. Make sure to follow the automated instructions so we can feature your response, and don't forget to include your name.
Question of the day, brought to you by Provivo, Manitoba's #1 cool sculpting clinic, science-backed body contouring.
And it's time for our pet of the week. This week, we're celebrating Pickle. She was adopted from the Winnipeg Humane Society a couple years ago. Pickle is the silliest little cat, and despite missing an arm, she tears around and is into everything. She's super chatty, curious, and loves warming her belly in the morning sunbeams. Congratulations, Melinda and Pickle. We love your pet of the week submissions, so please keep them coming. Share a photo and a fun story of your pet, dog, cat, bird, or anybody at petoftheweek@ctv.ca, and make sure to watch Thursdays to see if your pet is named our pet of the week. And looking at the bridge out there, moving pretty, Provencher Bridge, that is, moving pretty well. We'll be right back with more CTV Your Morning Winnipeg. A new development in Transcona is one step closer to welcoming its first residents.
Across Canada, we have 10,000 homeless veterans living on the streets of Canada.
That's why the Homes for Heroes Foundation is building Winnipeg's Kinsman Veterans Village. A sod turning marked the next step for the development located on Transcona Boulevard between Bienvenue Street and Plessis Road. It will include 25 tiny homes, a resource center, a counselor's office, community gardens, and recreation spaces. The village will also provide wraparound social supports.
It's a supportive program where we have on-site caseworkers helping assist our veterans with mental health issues, addiction issues, job placement, everything they need to reintegrate back into society.
This is one of 5 such villages planned across Canada by the Homes for Heroes Foundation. Construction is expected to start in 2 to 3 weeks. It was a fairy tale day at Kildonan Park.
His son he called Hansel, and his daughter he called Gretel.
The German-Canadian Congress is hosting a series of free German fairy tale readings at the park's beloved Witch's Hut. Originally built in the 1950s and relocated to the park in the 70s, the building was inspired by fairy tales collected by the Brothers Grimm. The family-friendly event is intended to provide visitors a chance to enjoy classic stories in a whimsical setting.
I think it definitely brings it to life. I mean, as you can see, the Witch's Hut is just a gorgeous architecture in general. And then we've got the beautiful garden, and being in the middle of a park here does feel like you're in a forest. We've got the beautiful, sun hitting the plants, and it feels magical. It brings the fairy tale to life.
The series is back on Wednesday, August 12th from 10 a.m. to noon, and it finishes off on August 26th at that same time. If you'd like to learn more about the enchanting history of the Witch's Hut, we have a story up on our website by CTV's Catherine Dow. You can also check out a photo gallery from Wednesday's event. Just head over to ctvnewswinnipeg.ca. A wild Siberian tiger has set a remarkable breeding record. She's given birth to 4 litters of cubs between 2019 and 2025, raising a total of 13, all of which have survived to adulthood. Researchers believe she may be one of the most prolific and successful mothers among any wild Siberian tigers. She's been living in the Northeast China Tiger and Leopard National Park since 2019. Look at the traffic out on Portage Avenue, moving well out there. If you have any tips, please pass them along.
Traffic is brought to you by Mr. Lube Plus Tires, proudly keeping Canadians rolling for 50 years.
Tributes are pouring in from fellow artists and Ireland's president after news of the death of singer-songwriter Glenn Hansard. Hansard was best known for starring in the 2007 movie Once and winning Best Original Song at the Oscars for his song Falling Slowly. His management company says he died in a motorcycle crash on the outskirts of Dublin Wednesday morning. He was 56. Some surprising news from some global superstars. As BTS fans count down to their 2 shows in Toronto next month, the K-pop group says they won't be submitting their music for consideration at next year's Grammy Awards. The band released their first post-hiatus album back in March. Then a few weeks ago, Grammy organizers announced plans for a new Asian pop music performance category. Critics noted that might mean forcing BTS and others to choose between vying for that award or a mainstream category. The members said on Instagram they hope music can be heard and loved for what it is rather than being divided by region or language. The trailer is out for the final movie in the Jumanji trilogy, and it looks as exciting as ever.
I'm beginning to suspect we're not in Jumanji.
Jumanji Open World sees the return of Dwayne Johnson, Kevin Hart, Jack Black, and Karen Gillan. But this time, rather than being sucked into the game, the world of Jumanji breaks free into the real world. It's due in theaters Christmas Day. And your primetime lineup kicks off with The Big Bang Theory at 7, Children Ruin Everything follows at 8, and at 9, watch Traders Canada. It's all right here tonight on CTV.
Taking a check on the CTV Live Eye, which is brought to you by Bath Fitter, your bath and shower experts for more than 40 years. Pretty hazy to kick off our day and a little bit cloudy as well, but still very hot. Yesterday was punishing, to say the least. Today, it won't be quite as bad, but you can already see that we are on a muggy start. So 22 degrees as mentioned in Winnipeg, 21 in Portage, Morden and Winkler as well. Over in the Wheat City, 19 degrees this hour. Checking in on Dauphin, 16 degrees. To the north we go. Temperatures very similar to what we're seeing here. 19 over in Flin Flon, a little bit cooler in Churchill, as is to be expected, 12 degrees, 17 in Gillam. But yes, that humidex very much a factor for us here in southern Manitoba. You can see Gimli is already feeling like 30 degrees at this very early hour, and we're on that doorstep as well. And yes, while we did see that rainfall and thunderstorm activity that caused so much excitement yesterday, if you will, made its presence very known with that booming thunder and that crackling lightning, we do still have that low outside chance of that activity continuing this morning, because as we move in here on our radar, you can see that same lineup of scattered showers and thunderstorms very much hovering over the southern border. So there's that 30% chance for us here in the Red River Valley that it could flare up again. That's in the morning hours, 22 degrees alongside, 29 as we clear out into the afternoon, and that's our high as well, 28 in the early evening. We're starting to lose some of that heat. Skies starting to clear overnight, temperatures dipping down to 15, and then into tomorrow, even cooler. If you can say 28 is cool, fair enough. Mix of sun and cloud, but the weekend is shaping up to be pretty hot. Your Skywatch picture of the day snapped by Mackenzie during that storm. A beautiful shot of that lightning. Thanks for sending that in from Winnipeg. And if you've got any weather photos to share, we would really love to see them. Be sure to email them to the address on your screen.
July 30th, 1928. American George Eastman demonstrated the first full-color motion picture system to be aimed at the amateur photographer. This marked the birth of color home movies as a practical consumer idea. Color motion picture photography was previously only within the purview of professional cinema. July 30th, 1962. Prime Minister John Diefenbaker officially opened the Trans-Canada Highway to traffic at ceremonies at Rogers Pass, BC. The public had begun demanding a national road in 1910, but the work wasn't started until 1950. The opening of the 7,821-kilometre road meant Canadians could drive from St. John's, Newfoundland to Victoria, BC, with the ferry services at each end. July 30th, 2001. Canada became the first country in the world to sanction the medical use of marijuana. The new law allowed severely ill patients, with a doctor's approval, to apply to Health Canada for permission. The original program was highly restrictive. Patients had to be terminally ill, have certain serious medical conditions, or get 2 doctors to confirm that conventional treatments had failed.
In Japan, at least 18 people were killed in Tuesday's earthquake. Many buildings collapsed and there was an explosion at a shopping mall. ABC's Hannah Bada has more.
Frantic race against time in southern Japan after Tuesday's powerful 7.1 magnitude earthquake. Some 300,000 people told to evacuate because of aftershocks. Crews digging through the rubble, searching for the missing. This aerial view shows the force of the quake, ripping a massive crack through this rice field. An explosion tearing through the shopping mall in video obtained by broadcaster NHK. The blast possibly triggered by a gas leak after the quake collapsed part of the second floor. Terrified shoppers taking cover as the intense shaking scattered merchandise in this store. Security cameras rolling inside this newsroom. Workers ducking for cover under their desks. At this paper mill, a collapsed chimney burying workers. 9 were still missing overnight. Part of this bridge giving way into the river below. This train knocked onto its side. Tens of thousands are without power. Homes pancaked, rescuers picking through what's left. Other buildings are still burning, smoke billowing into the air. Hannah Bata, ABC News, New York.
Ainsley McPhail is on Polson Avenue with our Glorious Gardens contest winner. We'll hear from them next. CTV's Ainsley McPhail is live this morning on Polson Avenue, and she's with CTV's Glorious Gardens contest winner. Without further ado, Ainsley, introduce us to the big winner.
It's a long time coming. We've been waiting to see who's the winner, and we're in the backyard too, the best spot. Elizabeth, good morning. Congratulations.
Good morning. Thank you very much.
What was your reaction to winning?
I want to cry. I was so happy. There would be happy tears. Yes. I couldn't believe it.
And why is that? You have such a beautiful, beautiful garden.
Yeah, but probably there is more beautiful gardens over there. You always think, not me, but yes, thank you very much. I'm very, very happy.
Well, you are well-deserved. What has gone into all of these beautiful pieces?
Lots of work, lots of love, lots of money, water, fertilizer, but yeah, I'm happy. I love it. That's my passion.
Mm-hmm. And how long have you been doing this for?
I think 10 years.
Well, that's enough. You put some time in.
10 years, yes. 10 years from the beginning. All these hydrangea were small like that. All these flowers. Every year I add a little bit. Over there, I did the perennials. Mm-hmm. There will be less work, and yeah.
Do you have a strategy when it comes to this? Because I'm seeing a couple themes here, too.
There's no strategy. You just look, oh, there's a space. I have to go to St. Mary's Nursery and buy some plants. And then you just plant it.
Well, you have $500 more. What might you buy? I don't know if there's any more space to add, Elizabeth.
I'm going to leave that money for next year. Next year. Because, yes, maybe I'm going to put more space for a planting. I will see,
Oh, I love it. Is there anything else that you think people should know about your garden that maybe, we have one more segment we can show.
You know, fertilizer and water is very important. If you don't fertilize your plant, they're not going to be that beautiful. I fertilize once a week all my flowers, and brugmansia, angel trumpet, I fertilize twice a week.
Wow.
Yes.
You're going to have to come to my place. I can't even keep the succulents good.
I think
You're going to have to come.
succulents don't need a water.
I know,
or
that's...
nothing. Just love. You go there and say, I love you. Please grow.
I love you. Please grow.
Yes.
I like the hot tip. You need to water them, but I also struggle, so that's helpful advice.
Yeah, the fertilizer thing, I'm taking notes right now.
I know. What a stunning garden, though. Wow, I can see why she wanted. Yes, she's going to put that $500 from St. Mary's to good use next season. All right, outside, your plants got a bit of a drink yesterday with that rain, but right now it's calm, 22 degrees. That humidex making it feel closer to 28. Overcast and hazy with those light southwesterly winds barely present. Barometric pressure is rising, humidity sitting at 83%. So yes, we have dealt with a bit of a stormy evening last night, and it might not totally be in our rear view mirrors just yet. You can see this kind of lineup of thunderstorms, very scattered, but that same system still very much hovering over those very southerly parts of the province. So as we move in, you see areas in and around the border. So Winnipeg, Portage la Prairie, Altona definitely in the crosshairs. Low chance of rain and thunderstorms this morning, tapering off into the afternoon, because you can see it's moving out at a pretty quick pace. From there, though, it's still going to be pretty hot, not like we saw yesterday. That was a different kind of heat, not what I like to repeat. 29 degrees out there, those southwesterly winds ramping up to 20 kilometers per hour. And again, those early morning chances of rain and thunderstorms. From there, a mix of sun and cloud. Skies clear out even more overnight, temperatures dipping down to 15, winds shifting out of the northwest at 20 kilometers per hour. Tomorrow, a mix of sun and cloud, starting clear, clouds into the afternoon, slightly cooler at 28 degrees, and those northwesterly winds persisting. From there, we're starting to inch back up into the August long weekend. 29 degrees on Saturday with clear sunny skies. Sunday, it's looking to be pretty balmy at 31. Bit of a drop off on Monday.
A string of violent incidents has left some Winnipeggers on edge. 3 people have been attacked in the last 5 days, 2 in a span of just 24 hours.
It's getting way worse. More beatings, more thefts, more stabbings. I see a lot of troublemakers. I see a lot of bad stuff going on.
A woman was seriously injured Tuesday afternoon in the entrance area of Portage Place Mall and taken to hospital. Police say Tuesday night a 51-year-old man was stabbed in the upper body at Osborne and Jubilee. He was offering to help a woman he believed was overdosing when a 31-year-old man who knew the woman stabbed the Good Samaritan. Police say officers seized 2 knives when they arrested the suspect, and a man in his 20s in a wheelchair was the victim of a random stabbing Friday afternoon in a courtyard on Selkirk Avenue near Andrews Street. Mitch Bourbonniere from the Downtown Community Safety Partnership says a lot of this is fueled by drugs.
The micro level, the small time street level drug dealing that's going on is seeing definite rise in violence and with edged weapons.
Data from Winnipeg Police shows that from January to the end of May, knife-related violent crimes were at 464. It's a similar trend to last year, where 1,200 incidents were recorded, and down from a recent high of 1,600 plus in 2023. Many people in Manitoba are still cleaning up weeks after heavy rain caused widespread flooding across the province.
This is the storm of the century that hit us here, and yeah, with failing infrastructure, we knew we were going to get it bad here, and as you can see, this is the effects of it.
Farmer Alan Olenik's soybean crops are now filled with algae because of standing water. He says poor drainage is to blame. The hospital in Dauphin also sustained major damage from the recent flooding. Officials have said it could take several months before the hospital can be fully repaired. And in the Swan River Valley region, more than 300 roads, bridges and culverts have been damaged. Officials say repairs have already cost more than $40 million, with more work ahead. The death toll from Japan's powerful earthquake this week keeps rising. At least 25 deaths have now been confirmed, and rescuers are working tirelessly to find any survivors. Several people died after part of a shopping center collapsed and an explosion ripped through the mall about an hour later. Plus, thousands have been displaced and are now facing the challenge of staying cool as the intense heat moves into the region. Temperatures could reach 39 degrees Celsius in some spots, and officials are urging survivors and rescuers to take precautions against heat stroke. As trade tensions remain high between Canada and the U.S., Prime Minister Mark Carney has been asked about using our energy as a bargaining chip.
When you're supplier of a key commodity, key service, you got to think really hard about not supplying. I don't see the value of doing. I mean, I can understand conceptually, but I don't see the value of it.
Prime Minister Carney was asked twice about the possibility of holding back energy exports to the U.S., including oil. But the Prime Minister emphasized that the main focus right now is on securing a deal with the U.S. The Canada-United States-Mexico Agreement, or CUSMA, is under an annual review process, and while the U.S. and Mexico have held several official negotiating meetings, Canada and the United States have yet to launch any formal talks. The federal minister responsible for Canada-U.S. trade met with U.S. Trade Representative Jamieson Greer in Washington yesterday. Police have made an arrest after a bizarre joyride in San Diego.
Sitting there drinking some coffee, and I hear loud bangs and booms and glass. I seen him coming down University east in the excavator, bucket dragging.
It was all caught on camera, a thief taking a backhoe for a spin. Witnesses say they hit street signs, street lights, and trees, all while the thief was shirtless. Damage at one business is thought to be worth around $25,000. The accused is facing several charges. Some road closures to remind you about this morning following the rush on Osborne Street. The northbound curb lane will be closed between Granite and Broadway. The eastbound curb lane on Concordia Avenue will be closed from Gateway Road to Molson Street, and the northbound curb lane on Century Street will be closed between St. Matthews and Silver Avenue. And taking a look at your gas prices here in the city, the average is $1.72, an increase compared to yesterday, and the lowest price in the city is $1.55. All this information is on GasBuddy.com.
The Price at the Pump is brought to you by the Kidney Foundation. Help by donating your car today.
22 degrees outside right now in Winnipeg. We'll have more news and weather next on CTV, Your Morning Winnipeg.
It's a hot start to the day once again, 22 degrees. That humidex, though, kicking in, making it feel closer to 28. Overcast and hazy, light southwesterly winds, pressure rising, humidity sitting at 83%. Yeah, yesterday, if the thunderstorms didn't wake you up, maybe this morning you saw a little bit of precipitation. Maybe your plants got a little bit thrown in the crosshairs of some of that activity. Lightning, thunder, lots of rainfall. But as you can see on our Skywatch, that system still hasn't totally cleared. It's very much hovering, but making its way to the east over that southerly border. So many parts of southern Manitoba have a low chance of rain and thunderstorms still this morning. A much stronger chance of rain and thunderstorms, meanwhile, to the northeast, where a separate system is likely to impact you. About a 60% chance of that by Environment and Climate Change Canada's forecast. Temperatures have moderated a touch. Still pretty hot in Island Lake at 28 degrees, but still pretty warm as well in Thompson at 23, 22 in Gillam, Churchill at 15 degrees. The northwest also has a low chance of seeing some of that thunderstorm activity. Likely, though, a mix of sun and cloud, though Lynn Lake has a stronger chance, as you can see with your icon there. Temperatures there still pretty hot in the mid to upper 20s. Southwestern Manitoba, Brandon and Neepawa, 30% chance of thunderstorms. Dauphin and Swan River likely to stay dry. Mix of sun and cloud throughout. Much the same for us. We have that chance of the thunderstorm activity in the early morning hours, and then into the afternoon, more of a mix of sun and cloud. Winds ramping up out of the southwest at 20 kilometers per hour. Temperatures still very hot in the upper 20s. That humidex likely to make it feel closer to the 30s. Speaking of 30, that's the high for Red Lake. The rest of this region, a strong chance of rain and thunderstorms, with temperatures peaking through the rest in the upper 20s. For us, skies clearing overnight, temperatures dipping down to 15, and then into tomorrow, clear, sunny, a high of 28. But you can see into the August long weekend, we are creeping back up again. Sunday looks to be a hot one before a cool down on Monday.
A recent survey suggests that almost 90% of Canadians are extremely unaware of hepatitis B, with less than a third knowing that it's a major cancer risk. CTV's Pauline Chan explains.
Victor Chen was born in Taipei and was diagnosed with hepatitis B at birth.
My entire maternal family has Hep B, and so this is a part of our family's health history.
And early detection has been good for his health.
So I actually am able to live pretty much perfectly normally. I monitor my Hep B on the state of my Hep B on an annual basis. So I go in for a checkup. What I do is I get an ultrasound of my liver.
But Dr. Jordan Felt says hepatitis awareness is actually extremely low in Canada.
This is an infection that infects somewhere in the order of 240 million people around the world. So that's roughly 10 times as many people as have HIV. And it actually causes more deaths every year than HIV. And this infects about 260,000 Canadians.
Many don't even know they have it until severe liver damage, even liver cancer, has developed.
The best thing about liver disease is it has no symptoms. And the worst thing about liver disease is it has no symptoms. So people can be living with chronic hepatitis B infection literally for their entire lives without recognizing this.
While Hep B can be transmitted sexually or through close contact, like with a family member, by far the most common method of transmission is from infected mothers who infect their babies during birth.
That's why the WHO and most countries around the world recommend infant or even birth dose vaccination, so getting the vaccine within the first day of life. And Canada has a bit of a haphazard approach to this.
Although hepatitis is more common in immigrants from areas where Hep B is endemic, he says Canada is a very diverse and multicultural country. He's calling for Canada-wide Hep B vaccinations for all babies and wider screening for adults. Victor Chen says knowing what you're dealing with is key to living a healthy and fulfilling life. Canada has committed to the World Health Organization's goal of eliminating viral hepatitis as a public health threat by the year 2030. Pauline Chan, CTV News.
An unsatisfied WestJet passenger was scammed after posting a negative review online. CTV's Pat Foran on what to watch out for in the comments section.
I was not happy. I was really upset.
Tracy Healy of Toronto was visiting British Columbia in March and had a great trip. But when she was to fly home in April, she missed her first flight. She did make it to Vancouver Airport for her connecting flight, but was not allowed to board.
So I'm sitting at the airport and I'm panicking because I need to get back home to Toronto and I have work the next day.
Healy decided to vent her frustration by contacting WestJet through social media.
I log on to Facebook and then I found the WestJet customer service Facebook group.
She says almost immediately she got messages from people claiming to be WestJet employees who wanted to help.
We want to make this right for you. We're going to give you a refund and we're going to pay for your flight home.
Healy says she was asked for her credit card and banking information so they could give her a $3,000 refund. But instead, the money was taken out of her account.
I got scammed $3,000 from somebody claiming to be a WestJet customer service rep in Kenya.
When CTV News reached out to WestJet, a spokesperson said WestJet will never request payment or sensitive personal information through unofficial channels such as unsolicited WhatsApp messages, calls, or non-verified social media accounts.
Criminals will monitor the comment section of so many recognizable brands.
Cybersecurity experts say you should avoid posting comments online and not interact with companies through social media platforms. Only deal with them through regular channels.
Reach out to us through our published phone number and we will help you. Nothing else should be trusted.
Healy says she should have noticed some red flags, but says she was frazzled and frustrated being stuck in an airport.
I can't believe I fell for this. He caught me at a moment when I was primed for the picking.
Pat Foran, CTV News.
Have you ever wanted to walk a day in Eminem's shoes? Well, now you can. About 100 pairs of sneakers belonging to Eminem are hitting the auction block next month. The shoes are also signed by the rapper. There's Air Jordans, Air Max, Puma, and Adidas up for grabs, mostly size 10s. The listings went up this week and the auction will be held on August 25th. All of the money made will go towards the Marshall Mathers Foundation, which is an organization dedicated to providing assistance to disadvantaged and at-risk youth. All right, well, let's see who's celebrating a milestone today. Happy 6th birthday, Broken, with lots of love from Mama, Papa, little sister Berkeley, and all the rest of your family. Happy 13th birthday, Marcus, love Grandma and Grandpa, and happy 45th birthday, Jennifer, love Dayton, Malin, Suzanne, Dan, and Mom and Dad. To submit your milestone, visit our website, ctvnewswinnipeg.ca, and fill out the form at least 2 days in advance.
Weather is brought to you by Canadian Footwear, helping you find the perfect fit.
It's going to be a hot one today, 29 degrees, above seasonal. Far cry from what we saw yesterday, which was really on par with the record set back in 1975, 35.6. Yes, it was a sweltering day yesterday, as mentioned. We're starting to feel a little bit of relief out here, slowly but surely. Still is downright balmy to kick off our day. 22 degrees, that humidex feeling closer to 28. It's pretty hazy as well, as has been the case through much of the week. Winds are light, pressure rising, humidity at 83%. So we're going to start in the north, work our way down. The northeast, in and around the Thompson area, good chance of rain and thunderstorms for you due to a low pressure system that's really hovering over those very northerly parts of the province. Temperatures there a little bit more mild in the low to mid 20s, but that thunderstorm activity is a pretty strong one at that. 60% by Environment and Climate Change Canada's estimation could likely hang on overnight. To the northwest, you have a smaller chance, but a chance as well of getting a bite of that same system. More likely a mix of sun and cloud. Temperatures there also peaking in the mid to upper 20s. For us here in the south, that system yesterday that definitely was loud and thunderous and rainy, likely still hovering in our skies. A low chance of rain and thunderstorms for southern Manitoba in the morning. Mix of sun and cloud into the afternoon. Temperatures still hot in the upper 20s, not like we saw yesterday. And then tomorrow, we're starting to see skies clear out even more. Temperatures getting a touch cooler. 28 degrees are high in Winnipeg.
A pack of cyclists are getting ready to hit the pavement, and they'll be pedaling up a storm for a very important cause. But this isn't a race. It's Habitat for Humanity's Cycle of Hope, raising funds to build a home for a family right here in Manitoba. Joining us today are Cycle of Hope riders Joel Green and Joanna Saucier. Thank you both for being here.
Good morning.
Now, Joanna, tell us a little bit about the Cycle of Hope. How does it work?
So the Cycle of Hope brings together a group of riders who will do an 800-kilometer ride through southern Manitoba to raise funds for building a home for a low-income family right here in Winnipeg.
800 kilometers. How many riders are participating this year?
I think we have 28 riders.
Wow.
And a bunch of virtual riders as well.
And as I understand, this is both your first times doing this. Joel, a little nervous, or how are you feeling about this?
Well, we did the training. I think the nervous part is, getting to the finish line at some point. But we have to remember that they call it a no-drop ride, meaning all the riders move together as best as possible, and it's not a race, it's a finish.
You guys are heading across southern Manitoba, including parts of Westman. Why this route?
Well, I think it's, keeping it in Manitoba keeps the focus on our people here, and it allows us to, I think we're going through 8 different communities over the course before we end up in Brandon and then circling back to Winnipeg.
And this is happening over the course of, I think, 6 days?
7 days.
7 days.
7 days.
So you get a little bit of a reprieve at least every day. You're not pedaling 800 kilometers in a day.
No, our first day is 65 kilometers, which is very, very doable. But the second day is 155, which is a big one. And so it changes over the course of the 7 days.
Joanna, you mentioned, of course, this any money raised is going to help a family right here in Manitoba to build them a home. Why is this cause so important to you?
Well, I think safe, affordable housing is so important for children, and it's just such a meaningful cause to help a low-income family achieve the dream of home ownership.
And have you had a chance to meet this family prior to the ride?
We did meet them several times, yeah.
That must be pretty special, Joel, to know who you're riding for, hey?
100%. I was telling Joanna earlier that we finished the ride, we were going to Selkirk. We ended up at Lockport and had to call the ride because it was so hot. By the time we got back, where we started, which was at Habitat, we were all exhausted, sweaty, and I looked over and the father of the family walked out of the Habitat Restore loading trucks because they put in 500 hours of volunteer time. It's a misconception that Habitat gives away houses. They will receive a mortgage as well as have to put in 500 hours of work. And when I saw him working in the heat, it diminished my whining and crying about my sweaty back and the long ride.
How did you get involved with Habitat for Humanity in the first place?
On this ride in particular, it came from history of doing fundraising for Weather Winnipeg Harvest. I also work with the Manitoba Realtors Shelter Foundation as chair, and our partner is Habitat for Humanity, and it was really a no-brainer for me to get involved in this.
Joanna, how much are you guys trying to raise this time around, and how can people at home help out?
So our goal is $150,000 for this family. And what are we at? We're at like 125,000
I think we're at about 135 at this point.
So we're very close. So we can receive donations through our website.
Yeah.
And what's the website? It's a one cause.
Well, we can just go to Habitat Manitoba, the Cycle of Hope. We're very excited if people would consider donating, and I think the important thing is that every single amount counts. It doesn't have to be big, just volume.
Awesome. Well, have a great ride, folks, and thank you so much for joining us.
Yeah,
pleasure.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Community Connection is brought to you by Mr. Reuter Plumbing. Born to be a hero, trained to be a plumber.
Hello there, Kara Wagland in the Sports Center newsroom with your must-see moment from Wednesday. And for it, we take you to Washington, D.C., where the Blue Jays were in town. Bottom of one, Brady House sends one deep to center. Dalton Varsho's tracking it. He's at the wall, and he makes the catch. The former Gold Glove winner robbing House of a potential home run. Trey Savage, just a day after his 23rd birthday, great little belated birthday present. Varsho's defense helping the Jays win their first series since the All-Star break. It is your must-see moment from Wednesday. And coming up tonight on TSN, we got some Thursday night football in the Canadian Football League with the Bombers and Lions in action. That gets underway from our 8 p.m. Eastern Time right across the TSN network. That's all for now from Sports Center. Have a great day.
The TSN Must-See Moment is brought to you by Super Blinds and Draperies, featuring Hunter Douglas products.
It's Thursday, July 30th. Today, the harsh effects of a winter power outage are prompting a proposed lawsuit. What damages were incurred in the northern community during a 4.5 days in the dark? Plus, is it a strike on the horizon for one of Canada's largest air carriers? Why flight attendants say they're ready to trade walking the aisle for picketing on the line. And planes, trains, and bicycles? A Westman's Communities project honoring the local legacy and the international influence that brought these three together. Your Morning Winnipeg starts right now. Good morning. I'm Daniel Homerson, joined by Catherine Dow. Thanks so much for joining us. Now, we had a contest here on CTV, Your Morning Winnipeg, a Glorious Gardens contest, and Ainsley McPhail is with the owner who has all the bragging rights this morning. We're going to check in with them shortly.
It's incredible what she was showing. It's like an Eden in there. She's done an amazing job. I can't wait for you all to see it.
And that rain last night was probably a good thing for her garden, a little extra moisture in the soil.
Yes, but maybe the winds weren't. I spoke with Environment and Climate Change Canada today. They said peak gusts in Winnipeg reached 90 kilometers per hour, and some higher ones even in Portage la Prairie, just over 100. So yes, it was definitely gusty. You can see they've lost a lot of their gusto, if you will. Currently, just out of the southwest, those winds very light, barely traceable. Our temperature is 22 degrees. That humidex still balmy at 28. Overcast and hazy, pressure rising, humidity at 83%. We might not have seen the last of that system. You can see it's kind of like a lineup of thunderstorms there marching along the southerly border, the international border. With it, that low chance of rain and thunderstorms does persist here in southern Manitoba. And as we press in, though, you see it's clipping out pretty quickly. So that means we're likely to deal with a mix of sun and cloud into the afternoon, even if this morning isn't so clear and sunny. Meanwhile, we're also tracking a separate system that's continuing to linger over those very northerly parts of the province. Good chance of rain and thunderstorms in the northeast, while the northwest, lower chance, but a chance nonetheless. For the most part, though, a mix of sun and cloud in that stretch. We're starting off clear-ish, with the exception of the haze. See a couple of clouds here or there, but for the most part, a mix of sun and cloud. And then those clouds really start to build in the northeast as that low chance of rain and thunderstorms persists overnight. Into tomorrow, decently clear to kick us off as we kick off our August long weekend. We do still have that outside chance of precipitation in the northeast. For us, though, we're staying dry and pretty hot. Not as hot as yesterday, happy to report. 29 degrees today, 28 tomorrow under that mix of sun and cloud. But we're starting a slow climb back up to the 30-degree mark by Sunday. Though Monday, we're losing a good amount of heat, just 24 degrees our high. Your weather art of the day, very talented 7-year-old Raven drew this of the Winnipeg sunset. The moon's still there as well. Thanks so much for sending that in. And if you want to submit your child's weather art of the day, just visit our website, ctvnewswinnipeg.ca, and fill out the form. Your art can be shown on Your Morning Winnipeg, and it is also going to enter you into our monthly contest for a chance to win a $100 gift card from Crockadoodle on Keniston and Regent.
The weather art of the day is brought to you by Crockadoodle Paint Your Own Pottery, now open on Regent and Keniston.
Amid an ongoing humanitarian crisis, leadership from the remote community of Pimicikamak Cree Nation have announced the filing of a proposed class action lawsuit, saying a power outage lasting 4.5 days last December caused widespread damage and displaced thousands of people.
This lawsuit seeks accountability for the harm already caused and reliable infrastructure that will protect the community in the future.
More than 4,000 members were evacuated after a hydro outage shut down the community from December 28th to January 2nd, resulting in burst pipes, sewer damage, and infrastructure failure. 8 months later, about 650 people are still out of their homes. According to the lawsuit, 180 homes are uninhabitable. Councillor Shirley Robinson says the lawsuit could have been avoided.
We warned Hydro and Manitoba that the line was unreliable and that our community needed generators, better maintenance, and a second source of power.
In a statement to CTV News, a Hydro spokesperson says the Crown Corporation intends to defend itself vigorously against this claim and will file a response in due course. Trippier Law, the law firm representing Pimicikamak, expects damages will be in the multi-million-dollar range. It's important to note that the class action has not yet been certified. A housing development next to the South Osborne Transit Garage is going ahead as planned, despite some opposition from nearby residents about its size and lack of parking. The majority of those who spoke and submitted letters to the appeal committee were generally in favor of more affordable housing. However, some said the finished height of 126 feet rather than the allowable 75 feet was too tall for the area. Most also said there's already not enough parking in the area for existing residents and businesses. According to a city report, there will be 17 parking spaces on site and dozens more for residents in a parkade next door. Well, the search for 11-year-old Parker Wells in Calgary has ended in tragedy.
It is with profound sadness that I can confirm that we have found the body of a small child, which we believe to be Parker.
Parker's body was found in northeast Calgary. It's believed he went through a culvert into a maze of pipes and tunnels the day he went missing. Police say Parker's remains were found inside a small pipe. This caps a 13-day search that involved police as well as thousands of volunteers. Parker's disappearance has renewed calls to give police more flexibility in issuing an Amber Alert. The province plans to look into this issue this fall. There are also calls to establish an Indigo Alert for missing neurodivergent children. WestJet flight attendants could walk off the job as early as Sunday, leaving many passengers in limbo.
The goal is to try and get as many of both our cabin crew members, but also as many of our guests back as possible prior to a strike deadline.
The union representing 4,400 flight attendants has issued a 72-hour strike notice, and QP says the airline has also issued a 72-hour lockout notice. The two sides have agreed to a wind-down plan if a deal can't be reached before Sunday. It outlines how planes would be grounded and how cabin crew would be returned home. If a strike does happen, about 75,000 passengers per day could be impacted. In a statement to CTV News, WestJet says, "We are optimistic optimistic we can arrive at an agreement. Flight attendants voted 99% in favor of a strike mandate earlier this month, with the two sides at odds over wage, unpaid work, and working conditions. It's the day folks in one western Manitoba community have been waiting for. The province is putting up nearly $100,000 to restore the train station in Rivers. The station opened way back in 1917 and ended up being a massive boon for the community. It allowed for the creation of the Sakine Bicycle Factory in the early 1970s. Officials say the funding will not only see the train station restored and new amenities for passengers, but will also create a Sakine Bicycle Museum, a home for the Rivers and Area Community Foundation, and a new arts and culture space. It will also be part of a research project on the history of the Sakine bicycle story, a collaboration between researchers at the University of Winnipeg and their counterparts in Japan.
And so over 50 years ago, a partnership was made with Canada, Japan, the province of Manitoba, Riverdale Municipality, and so on to bring the Sakine Bicycle Factory to Rivers. And so this was huge at that time and still is.
Researchers will also get a share of the money to study the redevelopment's progress and make recommendations for future projects in other parts of the province. Taking a look at the traffic on St. Mary's starting to pick up out there. If you have any traffic tips to pass along, text them to us at 10400. And we're joined now by Ainsley McPhail. She's on Polson Avenue with the winner of our Glorious Gardens contest.
Congratulations to Elizabeth. Thank you so much, everybody, for your submissions. Yep, the most beautiful garden in the North End. Good morning.
Good morning. Thank you.
So we're just going to give you the lowdown. This is the entranceway. Look how beautiful the hydrangeas are. But there's more, and some of those tomatoes are almost ready, too.
Yes, yes. More weeks, we're going to have a salad.
Tell us about this garden. What first got you into gardening?
You know, that's my hobby. You have to have a hobby. I retired, and you have to have a hobby. And I love nature and flowers. That's how it started.
What are some of your favorite flowers? Because we're seeing some commonalities here.
You know, they're all the same. They're all the same. I love them all the same. I love these ones, Brugmansia. I love these flowers.
And it's funny, we were joking about the promo for Get Growing, St. Mary's Nursery, how natural it is to be smelling a flower. That's how I smell all the flowers.
Nice.
That's thank you, thank you. You don't have a favorite flower, though?
You know, not really, no. I love them all almost the same.
And do you have any rivals? When I say that, I don't mean other gardeners. I mean the squirrels.
Yes. Yes, they are here. Oh, they are digging my flowers. Yeah. But, you know, I try to give them apple and dry bread or something, and maybe they leave me alone in my garden.
What's next for you? I'm sure that it's addicting when you have a hobby like this, because you're thinking, okay, what can I add?
Yeah. Always, always. You go to the green house, and you're buying more and more and more, and then in a car you stay, and it says, okay, where I'm going to put it.
Something neat about this garden, too, is that it's beautiful also at night.
Yes, yes. All these white bowls and everything, it's a solar lights, and it's beautiful. It's amazing here at night.
I love it. I want to watch every sunrise, every sunset. I want to grab a book and a nice bubbly. $500 to St. Mary's Nursery and Garden Center. Look at you. Congratulations.
Yes.
Looks like Ainsley is moving in on Polson Avenue. Congratulations, Elizabeth. And we're joined by Catherine up on the rooftop. A few flowers up there, nothing to match that garden, though.
No, I mean, we do have beautiful planters here, it's true, but wow, she's got some amazing things going on in her backyard. Meanwhile, we're going to take a look through our Bath Fitter Live Eye. Bath Fitter, your bath and shower experts for over 40 years. Certainly hazy to kick off our day and a little bit cloudy as well. Winds are also starting to perk up out of the north-northwest at 10 kilometers per hour. Our Humidex really rearing its head this morning. It's 23 degrees, but that Humidex making it feel more like 32 in downtown Winnipeg. pressure rising, humidity at 86%. Happy to report we won't be as hot, sweltering as yesterday. Still pretty warm though, 29 degrees the high in Winnipeg. Similar values expected all throughout the Red River Valley and into the southwest as well. Meanwhile, we still have a low chance of rain and thunderstorms this morning because of that storm from yesterday. Still lingering, most notably over the southeast, but we have an outside chance here as well of seeing, once again, a bit of a resurgence. Meanwhile, the northeast, a separate system altogether, is bringing a good chance of rain and non-severe thunderstorms to your area. Highs in the low to mid-20s. To the northwest, small chance you could get a piece of that action as well. More likely a mix of sun and cloud. Highs a little bit warmer in the mid-20s. For us here in the south, you're going to start to feel some cooler air wrap in, which is good news. Our humidex value is likely to be a little less fierce into tomorrow. That's when we get highs of 27 degrees in Winnipeg, or apologies, 28 degrees in Winnipeg with a mix of sun and cloud. But the weekend, we start a slow climb back up, and by Sunday, we're back to the 30-degree mark with very hot, humid temperatures expected ahead. We're going to take a break, but so much more Your Morning Winnipeg just ahead.
Prime Minister Mark Carney signaled on Wednesday he doesn't want to use Canadian energy as a bargaining chip in the trade war with the United States, though he wouldn't explicitly rule it out. I don't see the value of doing it, Carney told reporters in Red Deer, Alberta, following an announcement with Alberta Premier Danielle Smith. Microsoft's cloud unit grew at the fastest clip in 4 years, and the pace is accelerating, suggesting the company's AI and computing services are making inroads with customers. Chief Financial Officer Amy Hood said she expects growth in the cloud unit to accelerate further in the current quarter to about 45%. Demand continues to exceed available supply, she said during a conference call with analysts. Meta Platforms, meanwhile, slid in the pre-market in trading on Thursday after the Facebook parent gave a revenue outlook that is seen as disappointing. It also raised the low end of its full-year forecast for both capital expenditures and total expenses, adding to concerns about when spending on AI will translate into better growth. Those are your morning business headlines. For BNN Bloomberg, I'm Roger Peterson.
A new survey by CAA Manitoba says 98% of drivers in our province have observed dangerous behaviors on the roads, like speeding, distracted driving, and unsafe lane changes. But only 59% admit they're guilty of dangerous driving behaviors themselves. Now, CAA Manitoba is reminding drivers to stay focused, alert, and aware behind the wheel this August-long weekend. Joining us now with more is CAA Manitoba's Evald Friesen. Good morning. Thanks for joining us.
Hey, thanks for having me. Good morning.
Let's jump right into this. These survey results, did you anticipate seeing numbers this high?
No, definitely not as high as we saw them. Almost all of us, 98%, see these dangerous driving behaviors all the time. We know that speeding is an issue. We know that distracted driving is an issue, unsafe, but the overall ubiquity of this is actually quite alarming. Coupled with the fact that while we are quite good at seeing poor driving behavior in others, we're not so great at seeing it in ourselves. And that's a bit unsettling. That gap is something I think we could do a little bit about.
Now, with speeding and distracted driving still topping this list, there's been campaigns, there's obviously fines and charges related to these, but people are still doing it. How concerning is that?
Yeah, of course it is concerning, but the hopeful note here is that in another question in our survey, we asked folks how much do you speed, for instance, and the average amount was between 10 to 19 kilometers above the posted speed limit. But when asked why or when you slow down, our survey respondents said that when they became aware of it. So this is hopeful. It indicates that when we know better, we tend to do better. So we know that it's an information, there's an education piece here. That's something we can do something about as individual motorists, and your friends here at CAA, of course, are very happy to help folks understand the importance of following these traffic rules for the safety of themselves and others. So that's good news.
Now, with distracted driving, the first thing we think of is obviously people on their phones, but it goes far past that. Can you tell some of the other instances that we're seeing?
Absolutely. No discussion of dangerous driving would be complete without a discussion of distracted driving. It is the leading cause of injury and fatality on Manitoba roads. It's not even close. This has rapidly become the #1 issue. When we think of distracted driving, obviously our minds go to our cell phones, and indeed electronic devices are generally speaking the most likely suspect when it comes to distracted driving, but it's actually much broader than that. And it's important to remember this. Distracted driving is not simply holding an electronic device. It can be anything that takes your eyes off the road, whether that is an unsecured pet, whether that's children without seatbelts on, whether it's personal grooming, or maybe delaying a little too long on that console, adjusting that podcast or the radio a little too much, or even a very engaged conversation. There's endless things that can take your eyes off the road.
And before we go, we are heading into a long weekend. What should be top of mind for motorists, especially those going out on the highway?
Absolutely. So there's a lot of things we can do. First of all, let's set that podcast or that radio station prior to maybe getting off the driveway. Appoint a navigator, somebody who can help you guide your way through to where you're going. Another thing that you can do, obviously, of course, is obey those speed limits. If you see an emergency vehicle pulled over on the side of the road, including tow trucks, we are to slow down and move over into that open lane if it's possible.
All right. Well, we're running out of time. There's plenty more to this, but I hope you have a safe weekend, and thanks for joining us, Ewald.
My absolute pleasure. Thanks for having me.
Take care.
It's hazy, hot, sunny out here to kick off your Thursday, 23 degrees. So yeah, if you're hitting the road, you might want to make sure your sun visors are in good working order. You have those sunglasses at the ready, because decently sunny out here, and that humidex very strong at 32. Winds are out of the north-northwest. Pressure is rising. Humidity sitting at 86%. While we are starting off on a hot note, hence my fan, we are going to start to see some colder air wrapping into our atmosphere here in southern Manitoba, bringing a marked break from that extreme heat. Certainly not the case this morning, but into the afternoon we'll start to see things slightly cooler. 29 is our high in Winnipeg, while the rest of the region also sticking around that mark as well. For you in southwestern Manitoba, into the mid to upper 20s, and for us again just grazing that 30-degree mark. Meanwhile, we still have an outside chance of rain and thunderstorms due to that same system from last night that, by the way, brought gusts as strong as 90 kilometers per hour at their peak. So pretty fast and furious. Meanwhile, to the north, speaking of fast and furious, a similar system could be tracking into the northeast today, already misting in Churchill this morning, likely to bring rain and thunderstorms in and around Thompson, Churchill, Island Lake. Other than that, temperatures a little bit cooler than yesterday, but still decent in the low to mid 20s. The northwest, not the case, in and around the Paw, Flin Flon, low chance of showers, more likely a mix of sun and cloud, highs in the upper 20s. Speaking of that storm, Mackenzie had her camera ready to capture this thunder and lightning streaking across the skies, purple skies. Thanks for sending that in, and keep yours coming to the address on your screen.
The famous potatoes of Prince Edward Island are getting a boost from beef cattle. Researchers are testing a new way to improve soil health in pursuit of even bigger yields of the tasty taters. CTV's Maria Saru has more.
On this PEI field, farmers are putting their cows to work.
The cows are spreading the manure instead of actually using equipment to spread it.
You'd save your fuel and all that other expense and labor and time.
Cutting costs is only one part of this experiment. The idea is simple. Cattle eat grass, then drop manure and urine, adding nutrients to soil that could help the next potato crop.
They get deposited mostly macro and micronutrients. We are talking about potassium, phosphorus, magnesium, zinc, calcium, iron.
And signs of improvement are starting to show.
Notice how the grass is relatively greener. It's darker.
Researchers take samples before and after the cattle move through, measuring nutrients and how well the ground holds water. They're also tracking greenhouse gas emissions and eventually potato yields. So far, some results are similar with or without cattle. But researchers suggest that's because their data so far is coming from areas that have been grazed just once. They hope the benefits will build over repeated cycles. This field has now completed 2.
So generally looking quite good, like they're very healthy. I'm not seeing really any signs of disease or pests. So you can see this is the biggest one it's made so far.
In the fall, they'll have more results and the potatoes will only keep growing.
They'll be about this big.
Even if there's no significant increase in yields, it's still a more efficient use of land for both beef and potato producers.
We can have more cooperation between those farms.
The project will continue for another growing cycle, but the researchers hope to get additional funding to follow the science over several more cycles. Maria Saru, CTV News, Katskumpek, Prince Edward Island.
Lakeview Gimli Resort is the perfect spot in Manitoba for a little staycation. Firsthand, I can tell you how great that lunch view is. I'm willing to have it at any time. Carla is joining us now. Tell us about the space itself, because it really is picturesque.
It is. It's best of both worlds. I honestly believe 45 minutes outside of Winnipeg is all you need to drive to see the best views that Lake Winnipeg has to offer. With that, our hotel is situated right on the lake. So lake views right from our restaurant, from some of our meeting spaces, some of our guest rooms as well. Best there is to offer.
And now I just need an excuse to come, right? Maybe some corporates can get their hands in too.
That's what's great about Lakeview Gimli Resort is that we can accommodate meetings from small as 10 all the way up to weddings up to 250 people. So what I'm finding organizations doing is combining wellness retreats along with their corporate events. So getting the best of both worlds, getting out on those beach walks, those sunsets, reconnecting with nature, but still feeling like you're in the city with all the accommodations that are here.
And amenities, you want people to know about that, whether it's just stepping outside your door or inside.
Absolutely. So we've got everything from Powdered Princess in here. We have a print shop in here. So lots of little amenities that are right into this building, but the town of Gimli.
I love it here too, honestly. I come all the time. Anything else that you want people to know that you want to be top of mind?
Top of mind is that we have an amazing sales team here that would be able to build the best retreat, conference, wellness, wedding. Having your wedding right on that front beach is something that is very unique. You don't require a passport because it's that close, but exactly to feel like you are in another place.
Thank you so much. Another great place to travel in Manitoba.
Traffic along Notre Dame starting to pick up. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back with more CTV, Your Morning Winnipeg.
Hazy out there to kick off our day. It's 23 degrees. That humidex making it feel more like 32. Decently overcast. Winds ramping up out of the north-northwest. Pressure on the rise. Humidity sitting at 86%. Yes, that storm yesterday kept me up. Many folks on our morning crew as well. And we still have it sort of lingering in the background. Always that chance of it coming back through the morning hours, that is. Also lingering, that humidity. Wow, it's a hot start to the day, even though we are in store for a mini cool down. 24 over in Morden and Winkler, as is the case in Sprague. Melita at 19 degrees, 18 in Dauphin, 23 in Gimli. Similar values currently in northern Manitoba. The coolest part of the province looks to be Churchill at 12, as is usually the case. 19 degrees in the Pas, 18 in Thompson. But yes, that humidex very much in effect in particularly southern Manitoba. You can see it's already feeling like the low 30s for much of those areas near the international border. The further north you go, the more moderate it becomes. Meanwhile, those thunderstorms yesterday haven't totally cleared our skies yet. You can see kind of a lineup of thunderstorms. I'll pull in so you can see there over the international border. So there's that low chance of rain and thunderstorms persisting through southerly parts of our province in the morning hours. That lifts into the afternoon as we do get a mix of sun and cloud. Temperatures reaching as warm as 29 degrees today, so nothing like what we saw yesterday, which was in the mid 30s. And we start to lose a little bit of that heat into that early evening. There we go, Catherine. Temperatures, meanwhile, dipping down to 15 degrees overnight. Skies clearing out even more. Tomorrow, we get a little bit more cool air wrapping in, 28 degrees, so a little bit of a come down from what we were seeing earlier this week. I, for one, am grateful. And then into Saturday, we're starting to inch back up again under clear, sunny skies. By Sunday, we're at 31, and a reminder with this level of humidity, there's always that chance of some thunderstorm activity. But Monday, a nice cool down again at 24 degrees.
According to a social media post from the utility this morning, as many as 30,000 Manitoba Hydro customers are without power after those thunderstorms rolled through southern Manitoba overnight. As of 8 o'clock this morning, Hydro's outage map shows well over 200 outage zones within the city of Winnipeg alone, especially concentrated in the southern and western parts of the city. Meanwhile, west of Winnipeg, nearly 1,000 customers have no electricity. The Treeherne, St. Claude, and Notre Dame de Lourdes areas. Hydro advises anyone seeing a down power line, they should stay back at least 10 meters and call 911 immediately. No word yet on how long it will take to restore power. Manitoba's police watchdog is not recommending charges after 2 Winnipeg officers fired 16 shots at a stolen truck barreling towards them in the spring of 2025. The dramatic incident on Home Street was captured on video shared with CTV News. The independent investigation unit found police positioned their vehicle so a stolen truck with a suspected impaired driver behind the wheel couldn't escape. Instead, the pickup backed into another vehicle and drove towards officers, who then began shooting. The truck then crashed into a house, igniting a fireball. The IIU says the officers' actions were reasonable as they feared their lives were in danger. However, some witnesses criticized police for opening fire as children played nearby.
It was like in quick succession, like
One house was hit by gunfire during the incident, but no one was injured in the shooting. Ottawa is planning a big investment to replace Via Rail's aging fleet.
Building our country, supporting our workers, supporting passengers, creating good jobs.
The plan will see Ottawa spend $1.6 billion to replace 45 locomotives. Ottawa will also spend another $357 million to build an assembly plant and maintenance facility in Montreal. A Swiss company has been contracted to build the units. The first 9 will be built in Spain, the remaining 36 here in Canada. The first locomotives are expected to be in service by 2031. Saskatchewan is fighting one of the worst mosquito seasons in years. It's so bad stores are limiting bug spray sales. CTV's Allison Bamford on the reasons behind the surge.
In between the rows of vegetables, these gardeners are feeling the bite.
Every time I come here, they're here. They can't escape.
The mosquitoes are the worst Rita Little has ever seen in her 15 years of gardening at this Saskatoon plot.
You have to carry on whether they're here or not. But the spray does help.
And these days, bug spray is in high demand. Stores like Zach's Home Hardware can barely keep it on the shelves. They had to place a limit on how many mosquito products customers can buy at one time.
The demand is insane. We got our home hardware shipment on Thursday, and all of it was sold out by Sunday.
It's a problem across the city. This pharmacy hasn't sold out of bug spray yet, but they are bulking up supply to meet demand.
There are a lot of back orders with suppliers. Luckily, when we've placed orders, we've gotten the product and managed to keep some supply on the shelves.
Last week, Saskatoon's mosquito count was 3.5 times the 10-year average and 14 times higher than this time last year, driven by increased rainfall and hot temperatures.
If it dries out, then those numbers will reduce.
Edmonton is seeing a similar surge, and in Brandon, Manitoba, the city approved overnight fogging to help cut down its mosquito population.
So they're annoying and they're unpleasant, but the probability that you're going to be bit by something that's going to make you sick is not substantially higher than normal.
Mosquitoes are typically more active in the morning and evening. Experts recommend wearing loose-fitting, light-colored clothing to avoid getting bit. But the best thing people can do is eliminate any standing water that could be used as breeding grounds. Allison Bamford, CTV News, Saskatoon.
And taking a look outside at the current traffic situation on Donald, starting to pick up out there. Send your tips along to us at 10400. And a look at your gas prices here in Winnipeg. The average is $1.72, an increase compared to yesterday, and the lowest price in the city, $1.55. All this information is on GasBuddy.com.
The Price at the Pump is brought to you by the Kidney Foundation. Help by donating your card today.
It's time now for your answers to our question of the day. Today is National Intern Day, so we asked, what was your first job? Amanda shared, my first job was a pool attendant at the former Holiday Inn Airport West. Marlene's first was McDonald's. Her wage was $2.10 an hour. Therese says, my first job was at Triple S Farms located in Altamont. A suction cup apparatus I used to pick up 20 eggs and drop them on a flat, also crating them at a fast pace. Susan worked at McDonald's. Trevor's first job was delivering flyers. Janet texted, my first job was babysitting and dog sitting when I was a preteen, and my first job when I got older was a substitute daycare worker. Todd's answer, my first job was demonstrating how to play hacky sack in the malls around Winnipeg. I was 15 years old. Gary shared, Winnipeg Tribune paper carrier. Susan's first job was at the Half Moon in Lockport, the first one when Pete and Louie owned it. Terry worked as a popcorn girl at the Airliner Drive-In. Teresa's first job was slicing deli meat at Kmart. Paul says, my first job was at Salisbury House on Flint and Notre Dame. He was a short order cook. Rick, for him, it was at working in the galley on the MS Lord Selkirk too. It was great. Peter shared, my first job was a summer camp custodian and maintenance man. Kathy's answer, after a paper route for the Winnipeg Tribune, her first job was at McDonald's on Portage near Rouge Road. That was my first job too. And Judy, my first job was out at the Three Valley Gap tourist area near Revelstoke, BC. For Craig, he was a farmhand back in the 80s. Sandy's first job, aside from babysitting, was working in a wee tiny convenience store in Churchill in the early 70s. And Terry says, my first job in 1978 was when I was 13. I was on the cleanup crew in our local restaurant. Thank you all for those responses.
Question of the day, brought to you by Provivo, Manitoba's #1 cool sculpting clinic. Science-backed body contouring.
There is a new highest paid player in the NHL. North Vancouver native and San Jose Shark star Macklin Celebrini will be pocketing the biggest paycheck per season in hockey history. Not bad for a guy who just turned 20. CTV's Andrew Johnson on why the Sharks are going all in.
Macklin Celebrini will make close to $19 million US per season, and he's not the first superstar to hit pay dirt after honing his skills just across the water in North Vancouver. Celebrini has signed a 5-year deal with the San Jose Sharks worth $94 million. That's not the biggest total contract in NHL history, but the highest average value per season at $18.8 million as contracts continue to rise along with the league's salary cap. It comes after Celebrini's breakout sophomore season when he finished 4th in NHL scoring. He was also the leading goal scorer at the Olympics, where Canada won silver. Celebrini grew up in North Vancouver, playing out of the North Shore Winter Club, which also produced another top young talent in Connor Bedard. The two were first overall picks in the NHL draft in back-to-back years. Bedard just signed an extension with the Chicago Blackhawks, paying him $15 million per season. For Celebrini, the future is bright. His 115 points this season with the Sharks are the 3rd most ever by a teenager in the NHL, behind only Sidney Crosby and Wayne Gretzky. That about says it all. Andrew Johnson, CTV News, Vancouver.
Certainly a steamy start to your Thursday, as has kind of been the theme of the week. 23 degrees, that Humidex. Sweltering, feeling more like 32. Overcast and hazy to kick us off, though that won't be the case throughout the day. Winds out of the north-northwest at 10 kilometers per hour. Pressure rising, humidity at 86%. So we are likely going to be dealing with mostly a mix of sun and cloud here in southern Manitoba. We do have a lingering chance of rain and thunderstorms, mostly in the morning hours, because that system yesterday that brought rain, thunderstorm, lightning, a whopper of a storm, still sort of lingering in the background, most notably in the southeast. Meanwhile, to the northeast, much stronger chance of some convection. Rain, thunderstorms likely for you today and into the evening as well. Temperatures there in the low to mid-20s. Couple degrees warmer further to the northwest, where your chance of rain and thunderstorms is there, but not quite as strong. More likely a mix of sun and cloud. That'll be the case for us alongside signs of decently strong southwesterly winds at 20 kilometers per hour. Overnight, skies start to clear out and our temperatures dipping down to the upper teens. And then tomorrow, a bit cooler air wraps in, not to a large degree, making a huge difference in our highs. We're looking at a high of 28 in Winnipeg, and then from there, we're back up to 30 degrees by Sunday. So it's going to be a hot August long weekend. I'm going to go inside and enjoy the AC. Stay with us. So much more on the other side of the break.
Weather is brought to you by Mr. Lube Plus Tires, proudly keeping Canadians rolling for 50 years.
Have a news tip? When you see news happening, let CTV News Winnipeg know. Text your tips, pictures, and videos to 10400. That's 10400. Message and data rates may apply.
A Manitoba man is on a mission to recover pieces of the province's Icelandic history at risk of being forgotten. CTV's Danton Unger explains.
Their faces preserved for more than a century, their names lost to time.
I don't think anybody should be forgotten. Ever.
Blair Swanson with the Icelandic Roots organization leads the Unknown Photos Project. His goal to identify and name the Icelandic immigrants in these photos, some of which date back to the mid-1800s.
Right now, these people on this board here, they're really nobody. So my hope is to turn them into somebody.
Hundreds of photos like these have been sent to Icelandic Roots from families around Manitoba and the U.S. It's then up to Swanson to find out who these people were.
Once you have their name, you expand and you try to tell a story about that person.
A lot of Swanson's work actually happens on Facebook, where he posts these unknown photos, hoping someone might recognize them.
Everybody likes looking at old photographs, and some people take it as a challenge to try to determine who those people are.
Using tips from fellow internet sleuths and history buffs, Swanson works to confirm the identity using obituaries and census records, and then share what he's found with their families.
Keep going and you keep going, and it's when you get a result, then yeah, it's pretty satisfying.
Swanson says about 60 people in these photos have been identified so far, but there's still hundreds more waiting for their names to be returned.
Just give them a life. Like, who are they?
Swanson will be here in Gimli with his photographs on Monday during the Icelandic Festival of Manitoba in hopes of generating more tips as his search continues. Danton Unger, CTV News, Gimli.
If you've been bitten by the travel bug and are itching to get away, but you don't want to break the bank, you're in luck. There are some hot deals to be had right now to some very hot destinations. Serving as our travel guide to navigate all of these great affordable vacations, I'm joined by travel expert Jennifer Weatherhead. Good morning, Jennifer. Thanks for being with us.
Thanks for having me.
I love talking travel, and there are some hot destinations with some amazing deals this time of year. So tell us what's one that we don't want to miss out on.
You don't want to miss out on Belize. It's one of my favorite countries to visit all year long, but right now it's green season, and this is going to run through November. It is the most vibrant and lush season in the country. And it also means that you're going to get some really great deal promotions, especially on hotels from now through to the winter. If you just go to the Belize Tourism website, you'll be able to find all of those deals. But a few things that I love about Belize, it's the only English-speaking country in Central America. It's super accessible. You can do snorkeling, diving, explore caves, hiking, so many fun family activities. And starting in December, there will be nonstop flights with WestJet from Winnipeg straight to Belize.
I heard that news and I got pretty excited. I've heard great things about Belize. Let's keep with the savings and check in on some hot spots with some great hotel prices right now.
Yeah, so one of those great spots is actually in Mexico, and Marriott Bonvoy makes it super easy to find a great hotel. So if you book before August 27th and travel by September 30th, Marriott Bonvoy members will save 20% on participating properties. Non-members are going to save 15%. You can get those deals at Marriott.com, but I wanted to highlight 3 amazing properties in Mexico. So first up, we have Marriott Cancun. It's on this beautiful white sand beach. Perfect for families. They have a water park, lots of kids programming. Then we have the Hacienda del Mar Los Cabos Autograph Collection. It's Marriott's first all-inclusive in Los Cabos. Authentic, immersive. It's really a great property to visit. And then we have the Westin Playa Vallarta, also an all-inclusive. It is Westin's first all-inclusive. They went through a multi-million renovation to revamp this property. You have swim-up suites, sky pool suites, and again, lots of family activities.
And it actually turns out a lot of people opt for a hot destination during the summer, and you have some stats on that.
Yeah, because it's actually shoulder season for a lot of hot destinations. And the global travel app Skyscanner found that Canadians are really into shoulder season travel. Around 37% are willing to travel during that time because you get better prices and it's also less crowded. Now, Skyscanner also found that the week of August 31st is going to be the cheapest week for Canadians to fly during the summer. Some hot deals that they have on some hot destinations right now. Mexico City is 16% less than it was last year to fly there. So we're looking at round trip flights starting at about $482. Marrakesh, also a 16% drop compared to last year. Round trip flights starting at $886. And then Venice, a 20% drop there, and round trip flights are $761 starting at that price point. You can go to skyscanner.ca to get inspiration or download the Skyscanner app.
Okay, before we say goodbye, if we want to stay in Canada, you've got some great summer trip ideas here at home.
Yeah, so I recently spent some time in Charlevoix. It's just outside Quebec City. It's an incredible, beautiful spot, amazing food, little galleries, small towns, beaches along the St. Lawrence River. It's really a wholesome spot to spend the summer and a great spot to kind of relax with the family. Two amazing spots that you can stay. Le Germain in Bay St. Paul. So this has a Nordic spa built into it. It's right next to a cute little farm. You have incredible views. Then we also have the Fairmont Le Manoir Richelieu. Iconic property, tons of history here. It's everything that you want a Fairmont property to be in terms of incredible rooms. They also have this amazing golf course where you get epic views of the entire region and a casino. So a little bit of something for everybody.
You had me at Nordic Spa. Okay, we will leave it there, Jennifer. Thanks for joining us.
Thanks for having me.
I'd take a cold plunge right about now. Look at that, 23 degrees out there. The humidex, 32, hate it. It is hazy and overcast, winds out of the northwest. Pressure is rising, humidity sitting at 86%. I'm like Goldilocks. I hate the cold, and then when it gets too hot, I hate it too. I just want moderate. And the good news is we do have some more moderate temperatures on our way. But we do have that lingering threat of rainfall and thunderstorms still lingering as we push in, because this system that we definitely heard and felt yesterday still hovering, but most notably over that northeast corner. So likely it's going to be a mix of sun and cloud. Temperatures still very hot at 29 degrees. 26 is what's seasonal. Winds will be pretty strong out of the southwest at 20 kilometers per hour. Overnight, skies start to clear out. Temperatures dip to 15. Winds shift out of the northwest, staying at 20 kilometers per hour. Then into tomorrow, this is our moderate cool down. A little bit of colder air is wrapped in by that point, and we won't deal with those very extreme humidex values. Our temperature is still above seasonal, though, 28 degrees with that mix of sun and cloud. Hotter and clear on Saturday, and by Sunday, it is scorching again at 31. We're going to take a break. More Your Morning Winnipeg just ahead. Don't go anywhere.
Rooftop arrangements provided by Lacoste Garden Center. Salon services provided by Essentique Spa Salon.
Finishing things off with a few videos now. A Cirque du Soleil performer isn't letting her pregnancy keep her down. Aruna is a contortionist, hand balancer, and hula hoop artist with the traveling troupe and is still practicing while pregnant. She's due any day now and hoping her training will help the baby out on time.
She's going the wrong way for gravity to help. She wants it out the other way. Why are we doing it?
Well, there's been remakes of many popular songs, but probably none like this. Could have done quite well out at Cook's Creek with the medieval fair this past weekend, but this is what it would sound like if the King of Pop was a medieval king. These guys called themselves a medieval bardcore band and are playing their rendition of Michael Jackson's Beat It.
I love it.
And finally, this is what it looks like when your dad has main character energy. Look at him go. This proud papa is showing off his skills while joining in on a family celebration. There's never a dull moment in their house.
I'm assuming this is like an ABBA tribute?
Yeah.
Because I want to understand the costumes.
Yeah. If my dad's watching, please no. Please no. Have a great day, folks. We'll see you tomorrow.